Welcome everybody to our final talk of the year, except for the one tomorrow, on how to visit Japan. Yay! Yes. Okay, here we go. So we're going to talk about what it's like to be in Japan, customs in Japan, how much Japanese you need. I've been to Japan 7 times and had 3 other trips planned to Japan that got canceled due to tsunami and earthquake, due to COVID twice. And I've also planned trips for other people as well. So we're going to go over the whole thing. All the photographs you see here were taken by me. Some of them on my cell phone, some of them on like a point-and-shoot camera. So the photograph you see there is the Sky Garden, I think it's called, in Osaka. And you go up to the top there, and it's got a great view of Osaka up there. So I'll probably pause. It's the Umeda Sky Building, I believe. I'll pause occasionally and tell you what you're looking at on the right-hand side. So in Japan, in general, Japan is very orderly. If you drop your wallet and lose it, somebody will turn it in. I left my laptop on a train, and my friend was like, "Don't worry about it. It's at the next station." And sure enough, I was on the train from Tokyo to Kyoto. The next stop after Kyoto on the Shinkansen is Shinosaka. So I got off in Kyoto. I called the Shinosaka station when the train arrived, and they're like, "Oh yeah, somebody's already turned it in." And so I just had to hop on the Shinkansen, go down to, it's like 20 minutes on the Shinkansen, go in, get my laptop, thank you very much, hop back up to Kyoto, and your stuff's going to get returned to you. So it's really nice. The trains run on time. If the trains are late, they'll apologize to you. And trains do run late, like during rush hour especially, or they can have breakdowns. Like it will happen, but they'll announce it. In general, though, you can be pretty sure the trains are going to be there on time. You know exactly when it's going to leave, when it's going to arrive, and everyone's, generally speaking, very polite to you. I've encountered rude Japanese people very, very rarely. I've been to Japan, like I said, 7 times, and the number of actual rude Japanese people that I've encountered is 1. I'm debating several of the other ones, because sometimes it's like I went into a restaurant and they're like, "Oh, we're full." And there's plenty of seats, and I'm just kind of like, "Are you full?" "We're full." And I'm sitting there all like in a t-shirt and shorts, at a nice sushi restaurant. And they're like, "Yeah, we don't have seats."
I guess,
Really?
If it's like, like a fancy establishment.
Yeah, I was like, okay.
These are like places in the U.S.
But like my friend was like, they've never, like he ate there all the time, and he's like, "No, they're not being rude." But even still, I was kind of like, "Are they?" I kind of feel like they don't want me wearing my bright orange high-vis orange T-shirt covered in sweat at their nice sushi restaurant. I'm kind of getting this feeling here, Nick. I don't know. He's like, "No, they're if they say they're full, they're full." I'm like, "Okay, all right."
All the memes about that one rude person.
Oh, the one rude person? Yeah, that was a taxi driver, and so apparently Japanese taxi drivers are occasionally rude, and not very often. Like I've taken lots of taxis, and they're generally very polite. They have gloves, and they open the door for you, and all this kind of stuff. This guy was just sitting by the park, Shinjuku Park, by the municipal building, and I really needed to pee. And I sit in his car, and he just looks at me with annoyance, and I'm like, "Hotel Gracery," like in the direction of Hotel Gracery. He's like, "Where?" And I'm like, "Gojira no Hoteru," the Godzilla hotel, which is in Shinjuku, which is the famous hotel with the Godzilla on it, which is like there, and he's like, "I have no idea what you're talking about." So I pull up my cell phone, and I'm looking it up, and he's like, "No!" And he slaps it out of my hand. And I was just like, "What the hell, dude?" Like I said, this was like, what? And I'm just like, "Kabuki Choe." Like, he's like, fine. And he drives off. And otherwise I would have gone out and tried to find another taxi, but I really needed to pee. So, I just put up with this guy, and he very grumblingly, accepted.
That's definitely an anomaly, man. Like slapping your phone out your eye.
Yeah, I was shocked,
That is like a cantankerous guy.
And I talked to some Japanese people, like, some of those taxi drivers just
cycle.
just hate their life, or whatever,
Everybody's
but
stuck in a car for so long.
yeah, but that was very weird, and that in 7 trips, that's the only time I can really think of somebody was rude to me. I'll probably think of some other examples, maybe, but that's the only one that comes to mind. In general, you're going to get an attitude that's called like distantly polite. So everyone's really nice to you, but they're not being nice the same way that when Americans being nice to you, they're being like warm and friendly. Oftentimes it's just this sort of like distant polite, because in Japan, a big part of the Japanese language is like you conjugate your verbs based on how close or how far away you are from people. So if you conjugate based on, they say it's formality, but it's really distance. Like how close are we? And so I will conjugate my verbs differently if we're friends than if we're just acquaintances.
So when you said that, I thought you meant like actual like.
No, like social distance.
Yeah. Okay.
If we're close, then I'm going to conjugate aru versus arimasu. And so that's why you always see in anime people do this weird dance like and they do this thing like somebody will use like a casual verb, indicating we're friends now, and they're hoping the other person will use a casual verb back, and yay, we're friends now. And it just doesn't translate into English. You just have them kind of like stuttering at each other, and you're like, what is going on here? But if you listen to the Japanese, if you understand Japanese, what's happening is the person, he's talking to a girl and he's using a casual verb for the first time, like asobu, to play, casual form versus asobimasu, the formal form. Because it indicates, are we friends? It's not even friends, it's like, are we close or are we distant? And so, generally speaking, what you get in Japan is, because you don't know them, right? And Tokyo is a city of however many millions of people. And in general, they'll be distantly formal and nice to you. Because casual is also considered rude under some circumstances, but it also could be friendly. There's not like a nice form and a rude form. You can be rude formally to people. Like my friend in Japan, if he's mad at somebody, he'll be super formal with him. Because that just means you are not my friend, go away. You're over there. You are over there.
It's all like tone. Right?
Not where you are, you're further. You're further than that. You are on the other side of the street from me right now.
I think it's probably like tone, right? Because it's like the same thing in the US, right? It's like, oh, it's my buddy versus like, hey, how's it going, bud?
Right, yeah. In the US, we use like IC tone. Hi, Haven. Good to see you. Right? Versus, hey, Haven, how's it going? Right. It's the same kind of thing, but it's all in all the verb conjugations. The entire grammar of Japanese is based on closeness or distance. Okay, Japanese people have had 10 to 14 years of English, and that got me the first time. I'm like, we'll be fine. We'll be fine. Everybody in Japan takes English. They start in middle school, and they take English. It'll be great. Maybe we won't have great conversations, but at least I could ask her directions. Wrong. I tried that a few times, and it was like the attack of the AP English teacher. Like, pardon me, where is the train station? And they go,
trauma response.
and so I did that like twice. And I'm like, okay, I'm just terrifying them. Like, English pop quiz, like, oh,
The thing is, I imagine thinking that's like, someone from Mexico going like, oh, they teach Spanish in classes, we'll be fine.
Mm-hmm. You could probably do better in here. Like if somebody walked up to you and said, "Hola, ¿cómo estás?" Right? Yeah. How many people here understood what I just said? Right, everyone. Right. Whereas in Japanese, the way they teach English there is memorizing English grammar. They can conjugate English verbs better than we can. Like they know rules of English we don't even know. Like they study all the intricacies of the grammar, and they can't have a conversation worth a damn unless they go to like an eikawa. So they have these Japanese conversation. In Japan, they have these English conversational schools they go to where they learn to speak and conversate. And a lot of if they have money, they go to America for vacation or they go to Hawaii for vacation. And they learn conversational skills. But if you just go up to a random Japanese person, don't in. Because we'll get to this, but like a big part of Japanese culture is not making other people feel bad. And by speaking English to them, there's a good chance you're going to trigger their anxiety from like 14 years of English. So in general, just speak Japanese or point or use an app like toire wa doko desu ka? Where is the toilet? Something like that. And if they speak English, they'll speak English to you. But you know, I would just not. I would not start things.
Start with Japanese.
Start with Japanese.
Broken Japanese.
Yeah, if you have to, like if you're looking for directions, you can look it up on your phone.
Yeah.
And then go sumimasen. You know, sumimasen is excuse me. You know, eki wa dogo desu ka? Where is the train station? Right, something like that. So, bringing us to, do you need to speak Japanese? Short answer is no. You can get by. All the signs are in English. So they actually made a concerted effort 10 or 20 years ago, probably at this point, to all the street names have English on them. So instead of it just being in kanji characters, it'll have the kanji, and then it'll have like, you know, Sakura Dori or something like that. It'll have an English translation on every sign. That said, if you go out into the countryside, which we did once, the amount of English infused into the local civic government is much, much lower. And we started encountering areas where nothing was in English, and it was very, very confusing to try and get around. Like, you're trying to find, like, we went to a train station, there was abandoned, like, there was nobody there. And we're, like, looking around, like, you know, is there a conductor? Anyone here in the middle of the countryside? And the answer was no. And there's a sign that has, like, this train network, and there's no English. And we're just sitting there like, okay, how much Japanese do you remember, wife? And we're like, okay, which one of these we need to buy? How much is the ticket? You know, and we're trying to navigate it all in English. And so, unless you go to the countryside, if you guys stick to reasonably populated areas, it doesn't have to be like a big city, like even moderate-sized cities, everything's going to be in English. All the subway stops, everything's in English. Right, and so if you know that you're trying to go to Ginza, it'll say Ginza on the sign right next to the kanji for it.
But if you like, go into the boonies.
If you're going to the boonies, good luck. Right. It was an interesting experience, and we're just sitting there, and like the train just pulls up, and it's just like it's like a bus on rails, and it just like pulls up, and it just opens up, and there's nobody inside. It was like out of a Studio Ghibli film, and we're like, and there's just like a guy driving it, and we just got on, the door is shut.
That sounds awesome.
And we rode 3 stops, and it just opened up, and we got off, and we're like, is anybody going to take our ticket? I guess not. You know, and we survived, but it was cool. We saw a rice planting festival. So all the local teenagers got bullied by their parents, I think, into putting on traditional outfits and go out there and planting rice, and it was a big festival. So it was really cool.
Child labor.
Yeah, it is tradition. We call it tradition, not child labor.
Oh, yeah.
So that was actually a really cool experience. But that was the only time where I felt like actually needing to know Japanese would have been actually like necessary. Otherwise, if you're at a restaurant, you can just point at something on the menu and be like, And in Japanese, you always have to indicate how many of something you want. So you say, you know, you know, and it works, you know. The Japanese, it depends on the place. A lot of places will have a sign on the window saying English menu available, especially because there have been so many tourists, especially for the Olympics, that places will have like a specific English menu made up, and then no problem. But if you're at other places, it'll be half English, half Japanese, and then you have to like point at them. Some places all Japanese, and then you have to get out your cell phone and fire up Google Translate, and you can take a picture, and it translates the menu for you, which is really nice. And then you can still just point at the thing and be like, you know. You can ask them for their opinion, osusume, you know, what do you recommend? But in general, you can get by with just grunting. The caveman, yeah, like it actually works pretty well. Like you get stuck pretty easily because grunting kind of you hit a limit. But like yeah, but like you know when you go to like a izakaya, a lot of times they don't have cover charges in Japan. What they do instead is there's a mandatory snack you must buy. So it's nice because you get a snack, and the snacks are actually pretty good. So you sit down and they put a snack in front of you, and if you're trying to be like, I didn't order this, and you only know how to grunt, good luck with that, you know, and trying to explain like I didn't order this, and then they're going to try to explain to you, no, this is the version of cover charge, blah, 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 you know, and you're going to be like, you know. So in general, though, in general, Japanese people are not going to rip you off. If they're putting something there and charging you for it, just roll with it.
But when you say cover charge, like for
Oh, you're not 21.
No,
No,
I am.
you are 21. Have you been to a bar with a cover charge?
No. I
Okay.
have go to bars.
So a cover charge is an entrance fee to go to a bar or restaurant, especially when they're popular. They'll charge money just to come in. And in Japan, they don't do that. What they do instead, especially if it's popular, is they will just hand you a snack when you sit down, which is nice because you're hungry, right?
You get a snack.
And the snack's actually good usually, and they only charge you like $5. And so you come in, they'll put a. So don't be like, oh, I didn't order. Just in general in Japan, just roll with it. Just roll with it. They're not ripping you off. I mean, it depends on your perspective, but
Yeah.
they're not ripping you off. It's all part of just in general, just be chill. If they'll be chill, you'll be chill. Everyone's chill. So the one thing you do need to know in Japan, there's only really like 3 words that you absolutely have to know, or you sound like a complete jerk. Okay, and it is please, thank you, and excuse me. Okay, same thing in every language, but in Japan, it's actually really important. So like if you're trying to get somebody's attention, everyone say sumimasen. Sumimasen. Yeah. Oh, you're trying to get my attention? Yeah. Put his hand up. Yeah, sumimasen. And so like if somebody's walking down the street and you're lost, right? Ah, sumimasen. If you just start talking to them, like it's actually kind of rude, right? Like, hey, sumimasen. Sumimasen. And my wife always used to say, because she watched a lot of anime, she used to say tasukete kudasai. So have you guys heard this in animes? Oh, tasukete. And so my wife always thought it meant like help me, right? Which it technically does. But tasukete is more like rescue me.
Yeah.
Like I have broken my leg. Please send for help. Call 911. Help me. And my wife is like, tasukete kudasai. They're like, whoa. She's like, could you take our photo? And we kept getting these like, whoa. Shashin torimasu ka? And they're like, hi. They'll take it. And I'm like, what is going on here? So when I finally took Japanese, I was like, oh, she's doing the call 911. Can you take my photo? So there's a different word for help me, but you don't have to do that. You just be like, sumimasen, excuse me. That's all you need. Yeah.
I'm not familiar with like trying to learn a language, but let's say like I want to learn more Japanese than just like these words. Do you think that like I could do like a bit of like work like on my own, right? Just like looking at books or practicing.
The more Japanese you know, the better the time you'll have, and that's this thing here. You can do Duolingo. Nico, you guys know Nico. He took Japanese with me, and then he's been doing Duolingo for the past couple years. It's
fine.
It's okay, I guess. Better than nothing. I would recommend Fresno City College has a Japanese class. I would definitely, if you can fit, they have night classes, so you can fit into your schedule. I really enjoy taking the class there. I took 2 semesters of Japanese at Fresno City College. Really enjoyed it. Really enjoyed it. However, it cannot be a class that you're willing to slack on. It's like this. Hi, welcome to class. We're gonna learn some phrases. Sumimasen, domo arigatou gozaimasu. Okay, this is nice. And then your homework for the weekend is memorize the entire alphabet of 48, characters. And then you get tested on a Monday. Have fun. And so I spent the entire weekend just doing flashcard. And I pulled it off, and I knew most of them. I had 40 probably of them memorized. Got quizzed, did all right. Now memorize the other alphabet.
There's like 3 now.
Yeah, well, there's hiragana, there's katakana, there's romanji, which is just the English versions, like what I have written out here. Arigato, sumimasen. And then there's kanji. And so you have to learn katakana, hiragana, and you have to learn those in your first 2 weeks. You learn 1 a week. And it's hard. It's actually hard. And then after that, you're memorizing 20 to 40 vocabulary words per week. And then towards the end of the semester, you start memorizing kanji, and then in the second semester, you're memorizing a dozen kanji a week on top of everything else. It is legitimately. I'm glad it was my only class. Let me put it that way. I mean, I was teaching at 2 places full time and taking it, but I was able to just devote myself to just studying it. I would recommend doing it though. I really enjoyed it. You just have to go hardcore on it. Yeah.
By the way, just also as well, so I'm seeing there's like 2 different words for the same one.
Yeah. So let me explain that. So, okay. So everybody, sumimasen. Excuse me. Or you bump into somebody, oh, sumimasen. It also means like, oh, sorry. It's like a casual sorry. Like, oh, excuse me, sorry. There's gomen nasai, which is like, oh, you really screw up. Then you bust out the gomen nasai. The longer you speak, the more formal it is. That's a rule in Japanese. So there's gomen, sorry. Gomen nasai, oh, I'm so sorry. The longer you speak, the more formal it is. Generally speaking. Okay, so up here, everyone say kudasai. Kudasai. Please. Onegaishimasu. 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 Have you seen anime?
Okay, yes, but I don't like it.
Okay. Onegaishimasu. Everyone. Please, also. Now, what's the difference between onegaishimasu and kudasai, right?
One is more casual, one's more formal.
Kind of. And the longer one is, I guess. There's onigai, which is the casual form of please. Like there's an anime called Onigai Teacher. Please, teacher.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, you've seen it. You're a big fan. Yeah, okay. It's fine. I understand. You don't have to reveal your secrets to me. So, onigai shimasu and kudasai can both be used for please. In a Japanese class, they'll explain the differences between them. Kudasai means to lower something to you, so it's putting yourself into a humble position, receiving something from above. And so it's polite. Humbling yourself is a polite way of speaking. And so typically you'd use kudasai for something like if somebody's giving you something, for a service though, like if somebody's just like, going to translate for you or something like that, you'd use onegaishimasu, right? Because you can't receive, if it's not something you can receive, then you'd use onegaishimasu. But you can also use onegaishimasu with water, but you can also kudasai water because they can hand you water.
So, for example, it would be like, could you help me read this sign would be onegaishimasu?
Yeah.
Or while it would be like,
Onegaishimasu,
could you
yeah.
hand me the peanuts would be kudasai?
Yeah. But onegaishimasu also works for handing somebody peanuts. And if you use the wrong one, they'll understand.
Yeah.
It's
They're
not.
not going to be on you.
They're not going to like pull out their samurai sword and end you. End you rightly.
No, they're gonna hand you one.
Yeah. You know what you have to do. Okay. And then for thank you, there are many variations of thank you as well. Domo is formal enough. Domo arigato is more formal. Arigato, thank you. Domo, thank you. Domo arigato, thank you. Domo arigato gozaimasu, also thank you.
So it's not just thank you. Arigato.
So the more you speak, the more formal it is. Domo arigato gozaimasu. I'm not going to say that if somebody brings me water. I'm saying it's like arigato. Like good enough.
I mean, like saying like domo arigato is like so, okay.
Yeah, thank you very much.
Wait, which is the more like I guess,
formal?
No, the most casual. Is it domo or is it arigato?
Domo, I guess. Domo's not actually casual. I don't know. You can just use whatever. I wouldn't.
Just however you talk, kind of like. Slang.
Yeah, among friends, I've heard people say arigato. It's fine. It's, but like, if you want to really, you can say like hontoni. Like hontoni is like really, or truly, or honestly. Honto domo arigato gozaimasu. Oh, really? Thank you from the bottom of my heart.
All right, that's too much. That's too much.
Yeah, dude. I just gave you some peanuts, man. Like, just chill, just back off.
I'm gonna be honest, even if like someone does something like I'm gonna save my kid or something, I'm gonna go like, I'm not gonna. More words for one word is like.
Just use arigato and you'll be fine. Use arigato, you'll be fine. It works.
Arigato.
It's a word for all circumstances. Okay, everyone say arigato.
Arigato.
Yeah. Domo arigato.
Domo.
Yeah. Okay. All right. One more time. Thank you. Arigato. Please, kudasai. Excuse me. Sumimasen. Yeah. If you got that and you're just polite to people, that's good.
That's good.
Yeah, that's good. Like, tasukete kudasai.
That's all I need from this.
Yeah.
I got people done.
You're leaving?
Yeah, I gotta go.
All right, see you.
Thank you.
Yeah. Now you know the Japanese you know.
Yeah.
But in general, the more Japanese you have, my Japanese is Yeah, my Japanese is terrible, but even still, I was over the last couple of years, I've had a few like really good conversations with Japanese people, especially if they know some English. So then we can bounce kind of back and forth between the languages. I had a taxi driver who drove me across Kyoto, who was like really into the Eagles, and I'm like, oh, you like the Eagles? Oh, I love the Eagles, you know, because he had it playing on his like little. He had a little LCD screen in his taxi, and so like we just started talking about music and how much he loves America and
The Freedom Chicken.
what? No, not the building. No, the Hotel California Eagles. Yeah.
The Freedom Chicken.
Yeah. And so like it's like the guy here. You see me holding this bird here. And so I didn't speak any English at the time. This is 2008. This one. And so the guy just kind of grunted at me, and he's like, I'm like, what? He's like, I'm like, all right. So I put my hand out, and he goes, chirp, chirp, and then this bird flies over and lands on my hand. He had trained this Oriole or whatever the thing is to land on people's hands, and so he's just sign language. Do this. Yeah, this is in Tokyo, by the way. It doesn't look like Tokyo, does it? This is the Yoyogi Park, Meiji Yoyogi. Yeah. Okay, mass transit. So what we have here is a Shinkansen. That was the first Shinkansen I ever saw. Shinkansen is the bullet train.
We have one of those.
So we have a hypothetical bullet train here in California. Have you seen the Lego high-speed train set for California? It's got 0 pieces.
When we were coming back from GDC, didn't you say like it was being built when you were like
I voted for it in college. Let's put it that way. It's been under development for a long time. And Japan actually has a really good rail network. If you get into the more boondocky parts of Japan, like last year I did a road trip around Kyushu, there are parts of it that are not accessible by train. It felt weird. Like one of it, like a volcano just took out the train line and they hadn't rebuilt it. And another one, the place I was going to, used to have a train line and they don't anymore. So you can ride the train there, but it doesn't go anywhere. So you have to take a bus there, and then you get on the train and ride the train around, but the train doesn't connect to anything. And I'm like, this is really weird. Like, because in Japan, like everything's connected by train, and it's like, could you just fix the
It's funnier this way.
broken? I don't know, because there's one bus a day that's in and out of the place, and it made logistics really difficult to get there. And they had a train, but just the connection just isn't there anymore. I don't know. Yeah.
What's a convenience?
Yes, a convenience is a convenience store, and that's one of the best things about Japan. So here in America, 7-Eleven food does not have what we would call a stellar reputation. 7-Eleven food is considered cardboard, like the sandwiches and things.
Cardboard is a compliment.
But so, like, I guess it's like a bodega, like something.
A konbini in Japan is a wonderland.
It has everything.
They're open 24/7. It's cheap. A bottle of water like this oftentimes would be 100 yen, which is 75 cents.
Oh,
Yeah.
Costco one is.
Yeah. And this is and it's convenient. So you're 24/7. Go in, I would grab like 3 or 4 bottles, walk out paying $4. Teas are $1, for a bottle of tea like this. It's like $1. And then they have food. Food's good. Some of them have like udon and fried chicken. Family Mart fried chicken's famous. Basically, konbinis are also really, really important for 2 reasons, besides being open 24-hour food and drink. They're the only place in Japan where you'll find a trash can.
what?
Yeah.
They want you to take your trash home.
Japan does not have trash cans as a general rule. So if you finish your bottle of water, you'll be looking around to try and find a trash can, and there aren't trash cans. Now for drinks, a lot of the vending machines that sell drinks actually have a recycle slot in them, but for things that are not recyclable, people go into a convenience and use a trash can there. It's the only place where you can drop trash off. You're generally expected to pack it back to your hotel room. And so your backpack, you put it,
Filled with trash.
yeah, you just have a backpack full of trash, you get to your hotel room, you dump it all in the hotel trash. Also, convenience is the only place that have public toilets in a lot of areas. Open 24/7. Yep. And so if you have a toilet emergency, throw a rock, you will hit a conveni, because they are everywhere in Japan. Literally, just like, oh, there's a near 7-Eleven. Oh, there's a Family Mart. Oh, there's a Lawson Market. And they have a restroom, and they're generally open 24 hours, and they don't charge you money to go in there and that stuff. I always buy something, if I use their toilet, just because it seems right. But you don't have to. You can just go in there, throw your trash away, walk out.
So,
I always buy something. Yeah.
So I see an IC card and a
Yes.
J-Rail pass. What
Yes.
are like those two?
So, if you want to get around Japan, there's two things you need. One thing you need, the other thing's optional. An IC card is, see if I have mine on me. Nope. I will pretend this is an IC card. Okay? Called Costco. Okay.
Oh.
So,
Better.
yeah. So when you arrive at the airport, they have a place where you can buy an IC card, and it costs $5. Money well worth it. And what you do is you go there, and all the tourists line up for something called a Welcome Suica card that doesn't cost $5. The line for the Welcome Suica when I was at Haneda Airport last month was an hour long. And then I'm sitting there, and I'm like, why is everybody buying a Welcome Suica? Because sure, you save $5, whatever. The Welcome Suica expires in 30 days. So if you're coming back to Japan, you have to buy another one. And so I'm like, I just want to get a real Suica card because they don't expire ever.
It's $5.
It's $5. And so I just talked to the station guy in Japanese. I'm like, hey, I want to get a real Suica card, not a Welcome Suica. He's like, oh, it's that one that doesn't have a line in front of it. I'm like, okay. So I just walk over there, and the woman runs up. She's like, oh, you want a Welcome Suica, right? I'm like, no, I want the Midori Suica. I want the green Suica. Yeah, she's like, oh, yeah, right here. I'm like, Sankai, I need 3 of them. She's like, okay, yeah, okay, cool. Yeah, right here. And I just walk up, put in some money. You charge it up with cash, put in $100, and you get Suica cards. And then the way that it works is you're going through the subway, and they have a place where you put your ticket in because they have physical tickets. If you want, don't recommend it. Instead, what you do is you walk up, you pull your Suica card out, boop, tap it on the terminal, boop, and the gate opens up. You walk through, go anywhere you want in Tokyo, boop. When you walk out, it charges you. And it gives you a little discount too. It's cheaper.
So it's like for like the ticket. Basically.
You boop in, and then you boop out when you leave, and it bills you based on the distance you've traveled. Yeah.
If I'm correct, also Japanese stations are privatized, which is why there's so many different cards.
Yeah. It's regional. So there's JR West, JR East, et cetera, and so basically the Tokyo area has Suica, the Kyoto area has Pasmo, and there's like a half dozen other ones. They're all intercompatible. And so that's what the IC stands for. Actually, I don't know if that stands for intercompatible, but I'm making that up. So we're going to go with it. They all work with each other. So it literally doesn't matter if you have a Suica or a Pasmo. They all work everywhere. There's one regional difference, which is in Kyushu. I believe there's one area there where it doesn't talk to the other systems. But
so if that's what it is, then what's the J-Rail passport?
So the IC cards are used for subway systems. Okay, so you boop, come in, boop, you come out, and it works in Kyoto, Osaka, Tokyo. It does not work on the trains. The Shinkansen, the bullet trains, do not accept IC cards. You have to go and you have to buy a ticket. But if you want to save money on tickets, you get a J-Rail pass. So a J-Rail pass is an all-you-can-travel pass for all of Japan. And it is expensive. It used to not be expensive. They have raised the prices significantly. So you need to figure out your itinerary and then figure out if you want to actually get a J-Rail pass or not. If it's about approximate, I get the J-Rail pass because having the freedom to just be like, hey, we're in Kyoto right now. Do you want to pop over to Osaka? Sure. And you just get on the train. It's all you can travel for 7 days, 14 days, or 21 days. And so you pay one price, and it's all of your train tickets, all of your Shinkansen, all of your intercity stuff. All of it is covered by one price. If, however, you're only going to be in like 2 cities for 7 days, then probably buying an individual ticket is better because it assumes you're going to be traveling a fair bit. So it's one of those things you have to price out. The J-Rail Pass also covers the Yamanote line in Tokyo, and so you can ride around Tokyo for free if you use the J-Rail Pass without having to beep. I mean, subway rides are cheap; they're like a couple bucks. You know, you travel anywhere in Tokyo for a couple bucks. So you definitely want to get an IC card. Also, you're at 7-Eleven. You know, you're at 7-Eleven. You get a fried chicken. You're at Family Mart. You get the Fammy Chickie, the Fammy Chickie, and you just boop your IC card. Boop.
And you have to add funds. Wait, so
Yeah, so you could be at 7-Eleven, boop, no money left. Oh, let me get out some cash. Hey, can I charge my? And they have a little button there called Charge IC. You go boop, and here's $100.
So does it also act as like a translator? So like it will translate American money into yen?
Nope, you have to give them yen.
Okay.
So, in general, you want to carry cash in Japan. There's a lot of places, especially like more traditional restaurants, that just don't take anything but cash. Anything modern will take IC as a payment. If there's like a roadside ice cream place, boop, IC card. But cash is still important. You want to carry both cash and an IC card.
So to add funds to the IC card, so the IC card contains the money, right?
Yes, you put cash and then it's charged up.
So then, like, how do you add like your digital money to it?
If your IC card starts running low, and once I start dipping below about $20, I put some more money into it. You go into a 7-Eleven and you say, "Hey, I'd like charge." You can just say charge, and you hold up your IC card, and they're like, "Okay," and then they'll hit a button for you, and then you hand them money, and then
you have to hand them yen.
Yeah, you give them 100,000 yen or whatever, and then they put it on your card.
So essentially,
There's also places for that in every subway station. Every subway station is going to have a sign saying "Charge Station." It's like if you're trying to get out of the subway and you don't have money, then they're like, "Go to the charge station," and then you take some cash out of your wallet and put it onto your IC card. Then you can leave.
So essentially, to translate like your regular money into yen, it's like you.
Yeah, if you have US dollars, what I would actually recommend doing is before you go to Japan, have your bank give you yen. They do have Casa de Combinis, if you know what I'm talking about. No, yeah. They have money changers at every airport where you can give them dollars and they'll give you yen. So you can drop off a couple $100 US, get $200 of yen worth of yen, and then I typically throw about $100 on my IC card, and that lasts for about a week or so. And then if you get a real IC card, the next time you go to Japan, you still have it.
Okay, so the IC card is like it'll pay for the subways and some food stuff. So
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, a lot of places. Yeah, IC is just the standard. Vending machines. If you're at a vending machine, boop, get a tea, boop, get a water. Like it's a must-have. And for whatever reason, tourists want to have that welcome Suica card, which lasts for 30 days, and I don't know.
Yeah,
It's worth $5 of my life to not wait an hour in line.
$5 for my entire life
Yeah.
versus an hour for something that's going to last.
Yeah, and you've just arrived on an 11-hour flight, and you're sweating and want to go home. Why is everybody standing here? I don't understand. Okay, so in order to get a J-Rail pass, you have to buy it here in America. They FedEx it to you, and then they give you what's called an exchange slip. And then you take this exchange slip. Do not lose it because it's expensive, and if you lose it, you're out a lot of money. And you take it in. They have an office in every airport, major airport, and it's called the J-Rail Exchange Office. And you hand it to them. They hand you the J-Rail ticket. And the really nice thing about that also, another reason why I recommend the J-Rail pass, is because they'll ask you, "What's your itinerary?" And so I just showed her my itinerary, and she's like, "I can book all of your train reservations for you."
Ooh.
What time are you leaving Tokyo? 8:45 in the morning. Where are you going to? Kanazawa. There's an 8:10 and there's a 9. Which one do you want? 9. Okay, cool.
That's great.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah, she books all of it for you.
That's
Part of the card, probably.
Yeah, I mean it's part of the service, and so they will. I walked out of there with a giant stack of all of my reservations in a little folder, and all 4 J-Rail passes, and I hand it to my wife. And so every time we go up to a gate, my wife pulls out all 4 passes, hands it to me, mother-in-law, her, Ada. We go through on the other side. She collects them, puts them back in her thing, and we traveled all across Japan that way. My daughter did lose her Suica card though.
Oh.
No.
On the very first hop.
Oh.
There's no way.
Yes, we got on the monorail at Haneda Airport, and when we got off the monorail, her IC card was gone.
Oh. Oh, wait, could you get it somewhere else, like an extra one or not?
Yeah, I got another one, but there was money on it,
Yeah, so you just,
you know, and so she got stuck. She couldn't leave. I was already through, and so they sent her like around the building, and I was just like, oh my gosh. And this is after we had just traveled for 11 hours on a plane, and I was just like dying, you know.
But so,
But we had to buy another one and put money on that one too.
so for the JO pass, you would recommend having that too, because I think I'm going to be traveling again soon. But I think the way I like to travel is I'm kind of just like, let me just go somewhere. Like, I don't care. I'm just
I would get
gonna
the
go
J-Rail
wherever.
pass.
You would still get the J-Rail?
Rather than buying random tickets, because they add up really fast. But with a J-Rail pass, you just have freedom. Like, hey, I heard there's a Ghost in the Shell exhibit, which this last month they did a Ghost in the Shell exhibit. I didn't know about it. Like, oh, let's go there, you know. And if it's in a different city, then you'd have to buy a ticket for it.
Yeah.
The J-Rail pass, just you have kind of a sense of freedom.
Yeah.
Like, oh, let's just go to Kobe. Let's check out Kobe.
Like, hey, so unlimited.
Unlimited train
for,
rides.
Like this amount of time.
7 days, 14 days, 21 days.
Okay.
Now, the
how-
exception to that, though, is if you know you're going to be in a specific region, there are cheaper J-Rail passes for that region. So you can have, I was looking at getting what's called the Hokuriku Arch, which is Tokyo to Kanazawa to Kyoto and Osaka. It doesn't cover the Tokaido. And so that's the route we were going, and it was substantially cheaper. Like, it was like substantially cheaper. But I kind of wanted to go back on the Tokaido because there was like a place that I wanted to visit on the Tokaido, and so I ended up springing for the J-Rail pass. But you can, if you're going to be in a region, like if you're in Kyushu or if you're going to be in like Hokkaido, there are regional rail passes that are much, much, much cheaper than the J-Rail pass. So look into those if you're going to be in one region. Okay, sorry, Burton. And this is what a Shinkansen looks like. That's my buddy Nick there. Do you have another question?
It was just one more. What is like the price of like the J-Rail pass? Like, would you say like on average?
The J-Rail pass?
Yeah.
Pricing. I've written all this down for you, by the way.
Okay, sorry.
Pricing. Price. J-Rail pass is 700.
That's a lot.
Yeah, the J-Rail pass, this is for two people. So it's $700 for 2 weeks.
Alright.
So it's $350 a week. Or if it's 1 week, it is $450 per week. Like I said, it's pricey. The Hokuriku Arch was $200 for the same time period. So it was like half the price. I could be doing the math wrong, but it was something like much, much cheaper. And I could have gone back to Tokyo along that same arch ride. It would have been an extra hour or two. But like I said, there was one place, I wanted to stop at one place along the way. So I ended up springing for the more expensive one. Yeah, all right, coming back over here. Look into the regional ones. J-Rail used to be economical. It's not now. And so the regional ones is what I'd recommend, or buying individual tickets, yeah.
Do you need both the IC card and the J-Rail
Yes,
pass? Okay.
yes. IC card, the J-Rail pass only works on some transport inside of Tokyo. So J-Rail operates trains inside of Tokyo, like the Yamanote line. It looks like a subway. It's not the Tokyo subway. Tokyo subway only takes IC. The J-Rail, which runs the Yamanote line, takes the J-Rail pass. And so, generally speaking, you want to have both, because the fastest route will sometimes be subway, it'll sometimes be on J-Rail, and you can use both. And plus, the IC card is just like you're buying something at a vending machine. Like you don't want to be fishing around with, coins and stuff like that. Just boop, yeah.
Do you talk about the flight cost?
Yes, I have the flight costs up there. We'll get to that. So this is what a Shinkansen looks like. This isn't the nicest Shinkansen, but pretty roomy. They got power outlets usually. They have a little thing up there that shows you the upcoming stops in English. As you can see, it's in English. It tells you it'll be in Japanese, it'll be in Korean, like that. It cycles through different languages, but they got English. You can keep your eye up there and keep an eye on it. It tells you the train number you're on. You can see the green, it's a reserved car. So I recommend getting reserved seats, especially if there's more than one of you, just so you can get seats together. Because it really sucks when you're in the unreserved section, there's a seat here and a seat there, and you're trying to get everybody together. there is a small cost for reserving a seat, I think, but it's trivial. Yeah. Okay. So one of the nice things about the Shinkansen is you can eat on the Shinkansen. You are not supposed to eat on a regular subway. Anything that doesn't have a reserved seat, or similar, like unreserved seating that it looks like a reserved seat, you're not supposed to eat or drink. So like on the subway, you're not supposed to eat or drink. Does my friend eat or drink anyway? Yes, but you're not supposed to. Okay. So this is called ekiben. So ekiben is bento boxes specifically for train rides. And so they come in these cute little containers, and they have all sorts of varieties. They're really good, and it's kind of a tradition to like ride a bullet train, get an ekiben, and this is like a beef ekiben with kimchi. It's beef with kimchi.
Like the nice mushrooms, like the
Yeah, something like that. Yeah, sliced daikon, spice, something like that. Yeah, it's and they just have, and they're all set out, and you're just like, oh, I want this one, I want that one, and so it's just a tradition on Shinkansen to get an ekiben. Now, a lot of areas only have buses, and so the buses are not as nice. You can't like stretch out as much as a big person. The buses are oftentimes too small for me, but in a lot of areas, especially the more rural areas, buses are the only way you can get around. And so that takes a little bit more work. If it's your first time in Japan, maybe try to avoid bus routes. Kyoto's buses fill up like all the time, and you can't take them physically, like they're actually full. So I would try to stick to subways and trains if you can. Taxis exist. They don't allow Uber in the there's like a radius around a train station where you can't Uber. So it's marked as like off limits for like app, because they have a taxi stop, and so you just go up to the taxi stop. They open the door. Where to? Let's go. The Go Taxi app though works everywhere else, and so you can just be at your Airbnb or whatever and just go taxi, boop, boop, and then you don't have any communication issues either, right? Like pick up here. I'm going to Shinosaka Station. It calculates the fare for you. Boop. Taxi will arrive in 5 minutes, and then you don't have to like have an awkward conversation like, I'm going to the Osaka station. And they're like, oh, are you going to Osaka station or Shinosaka? Shinosaka is New Osaka. Which one? And they're saying this in Japanese, and you have no idea, and you end up at the wrong one. When you have the app, they don't have to ask you any questions.
So taxi is so like Uber doesn't work in Japan?
No.
Like, okay.
No, there's no Uber or Lyft. You have to use Go Taxi.
Okay.
And they're banned around train stations, so you have to for pickup. So or you just walk away from the train station, then get one if you want. And it's more expensive than other options, but it's not super expensive. Yeah. Okay. So yeah, this is the Osaka Expo from the 1970s, I believe. That is one of the weirdest. This is like a 300-foot tall statue, right? It has a weird radar dish, chicken head kind of thing. I don't understand it at all, but that's from the World Expo in the 1970s. There is an option in Japan that a lot of people don't think of, which is the airplanes. It is actually faster and cheaper in a lot of cases to take the airplane than it is to take the bullet train. Bullet trains are actually expensive. They're not actually cheap transport. Like you could be talking like $150 to ride the bullet train. The same thing by airplane might be $75. And especially if you're going to like a longer distance, like Tokyo to Kyushu, it's like an hour in the air versus 8 hours by train. Like it's a massive difference in price and in speed. Yeah.
That's surprising because generally lifting off the ground and traveling at a faster speed requires more energy than
Yeah.
if you're going to 60 on the ground.
Yeah, but airplanes are actually really, really cheap in Japan.
Is it just because like the people who made the train want to make it profitable?
No, the trains aren't super profitable. The train companies make almost all of their money. Like the trains kind of pay for themselves, I guess is a good way of putting it. But the way they make their money is actually by operating the malls at the train stations. So what they did, like somebody mentioned, they were privatized,
Yeah.
right? The Japanese back in the 70s had a single train company for the country. It got split up into JR West, JR East, JR Central, and they all sort of, they don't really compete against each other because they have regional difference. You know, they have regional monopolies. But
Yeah.
the way that they became profitable was they built these giant malls around the big train hubs, and so people would actually go to the train station to eat. You know, and they have just like these big shopping centers, and they're really nice. And so, you know, when you go to the train, you have to pass through these big malls. You buy things. They have bakeries and all this kind of stuff. And so they actually make their profits off of the malls they've built around the train stations, and not, you know, necessarily the trains themselves. But yeah, airplanes are cheaper and faster for going, you know, longer, short routes. Trains are better. Yeah.
So for this, so when you say like, are these like separate airports from the international?
Yeah, so there are 3 international airports you can fly into in Japan, and you're gonna have to pick one when you travel. There is Narita, Haneda, and Kix, which is Kansai International Airport. Narita and Haneda are in Tokyo, and so Tokyo has 2 massive airports because it's a big city. A lot of people fly there. Osaka has 1 major airport, and that's it. Those are your 3 choices. Regional airports, there's tons of them. Every city has like some regional airport kind of nearby at least. But that's only when you're within Japan, flying within Japan to Japan. And so when you go to Japan, you need to price out ticket prices from LAX to Narita, to Haneda, to Kix. Price it out from SFO to Narita, to Haneda, to Kix. Price it out from Fresno to Narita, to Haneda. So price out all 3 of them from the 3 airports in our areas and see what the prices are. Because flying from Fresno can add quite a lot of money, so oftentimes it's worth it to drive to LAX, and then remember you have to pay parking at LAX, so you know there's a trade-off there. But like if the difference is like $500 a ticket, then and you're 4 people, like it's well worth going down to LAX. Narita is an hour outside of Tokyo. There is a Narita Express. So you arrive. Narita's a really nice airport, by the way. Very modern airport. They just built it out in the boondocks, not anywhere near anything. And so it's a really nice modern airport. Everything's designed for the modern international traveler. And you come in, you take the Narita Express, and boom, high-speed rail right into downtown Tokyo an hour later. Haneda is the older airport. I still really like it. It's really beautiful. They've remodeled it. It's really, really nice. I actually prefer flying into Haneda, hence I bolded it. And there's a monorail. So the monorail was built for the 1960 Olympics. It's a little iffy. Kind of shakes a little bit. It's not super smooth like the Narita Expresses. But when the monorail takes off, it's like kind of over Tokyo Bay. And so you're just looking out over the water. You can see Tokyo. You're kind of in Tokyo already. And you kind of head up towards the Shinagawa area. And it dumps you just at it almost feels like a random train station. Like the monorail just takes you to a train station, and that train station's not particularly well designed or integrated between the subway and the J-rail and the monorail. But regardless, that gets you into the subway network, and then you can go anywhere you want. And so I actually prefer flying to Haneda. Narita is cheaper on average. So, but you do have to buy a train ticket to get from Narita on the Narita Express together, or you pay hundreds of dollars for a taxi. Okay, they're all good. And Kix is really nice too. Kix is on an artificial island. So they actually built it. They built an island in the middle of the bay for the airport, and it's sinking, by the way. So that's fun. Well, yeah, it'll still be there. Don't worry, they're on it.
Hope they had some more dirt.
They're on it. Yeah, but it's sunk like 20 feet or something like that. Like a lot. It's got a Pokemon Center. Yeah, I don't know. Kix is really nice too. All 3 of them are highly, highly recommended airports. I would mostly just base it on price. And if you want to see the Osaka area, fly into Osaka. If you want to see Tokyo, fly to Tokyo. If you're going to do both, I don't know. Figure it out. So this is Osaka from that Sky Harbor building, Sky Garden building. So these are prices. So you want to know prices for airplanes, right, Kimberly? So Fresno to Osaka is $2,000 a person. Airfare is the absolute worst thing about traveling to Japan. June is also probably the worst month for price to travel to Japan. It gets cheaper. It's $400 cheaper to fly in July. See that? You can fly in August for $900. Okay?
When in August?
After school starts, prices go way down.
Oh.
After school's back in
We're
session.
gonna go see the Strokes.
Yes.
On the 20th or something.
I would, if you want to go to Japan on the 20th, I will excuse you from Seaside 26.
Yeah, from the Seaside 26
You
class,
will
you're
be
definitely
annoyed.
taking
That you're definitely
right?
taking,
You're
right?
definitely taking, right?
You are definitely going to take it, right?
Could you also talk to my physics professor?
I'll talk to him. So, isn't that beautiful though?
Yeah.
That's Osaka from the Sky
Oh,
Harbor.
that's always Fresno.
Yeah,
Downtown Fresno.
you can see the
Fresno-ish.
what's the building? The Guarantee Building, the one downtown. What's it called?
Oh, the one that's burnt down?
No, the big skyscraper that we have
I don't know.
from like the 1920s, like our only skyscraper.
You're a skyscraper?
Well, it's kind of. It's not. It doesn't scrape very much.
Well, not close.
Was it?
Is that like the Urban?
It barely even scrapes, like.
You're the ELC, right?
I think
I guess. I don't know.
know.
Has a big E on it.
It's just an average
Or
size.
Or F, or, I don't know. Yeah, it's not here. Okay.
slightly above average.
So yeah, if you see the price difference, if you leave from Fresno, you're paying $400 extra per person. Okay. Now parking at LAX, if you're going to be there for 3 weeks, parking at LAX is going to eat. Yeah.
It's gonna eat up
It's
that
going to
much.
eat. It's going to eat into that. It's probably about $200 to park there.
Or
It's
you
cheaper
pay
for you.
like $400 for an Uber to
Right? Or you can Uber down, or you take the bus or whatever.
The bus might be.
Greyhound.
Yeah,
Yeah.
might be better.
Take the Greyhound, or they have Flixbus bus now.
But
It's
that-
pretty cheap.
That would probably make the travel painful.
Yeah, but I mean, there's options.
Yeah.
But you can see the price from Fresno to the 3 airports are actually kind of comparable. Haneda is actually the cheapest, which is surprising.
Oh yeah.
Osaka, for whatever reason, is the most expensive. And then if you go LAX to Osaka, it's $400 cheaper.
Osaka's probably expensive because around that time it's going to be when the concert.
Okay.
It's like a music festival.
No, this is the whole month. I looked at the whole
Oh.
month and looked at cheapest prices. Narita, you can see, is the cheapest by quite a bit, like $200 cheaper.
Yeah.
That's the one in Narita.
Yeah, Narita is $200 cheaper, and Haneda, you're paying that premium for being in town. It's an hour of your life. I would fly into Narita at that price difference. And then San Francisco is comparable to LAX. It's substantially more expensive to go to Haneda. Huh?
You can take like.
You can take the Amtrak to San Francisco, but if you're flying to Haneda, that's a almost
Yeah.
$400 price difference to not go to Narita.
Yeah,
So,
Narita.
yeah. So that's that. July gets cheaper. A lot cheaper. And August it gets even more cheaper, right? So end of July you can fly for $1,100.
Yeah.
And then I don't know if this is even, there's a new discount airline that goes to Japan. I don't know if this actually includes that. I know they do have some tickets for like $900. So airfare is actually the single biggest cost of going to Japan. Once you're there, it is surprisingly inexpensive. Like today I had 2 rolls of sushi I ate some Japanese food to prepare for this. I had 2 rolls at Namikaze. I didn't even have an iced tea. And it was 40, with tax and tip and everything, it was like 40 something dollars. Right?
Yeah.
That's about normal. Like a roll's aund $20, like a dragon roll.
And you say like in Japan, it's like, oh, funny.
So my friends from San Diego came out. I took them out. 6 of us. We had bluefin tuna, which is $20 a pop here in Fresno for 2 pieces. It's $20. We had bluefin tuna. We had a ton of food. We had desserts. We had alcohol. Just like soup.
A feast.
Like it was just bowls covering the table. Bill came in. I'm like, I got this. Whole bill for all 6 people. Feast, $80.
Wow.
Whoa, in Japan?
That's like $10 per
What?
person, right?
I think I might move.
Huh?
Well, I mean, work-life balance.
Excuse
is-
me?
what do you-
80?
Yep, $80. This is at Zanmai Sushi. Zanmai Sushi is not like some fancy Jiro does sushi where he loves every atom and Zanmai Sushi is just like a regular sushi joint. It's all across Japan. $80, and it was good food. Like I mean, it's not elegant, whatever.
Well, okay,
where the person massaged the tuna, give it a flipper rub.
It's
No,
equivalent of like a mom and pop, like.
it's like going to.
It's more like going to
Red Robin?
Yeah, Denny's.
Well, not Denny's.
Maybe Denny's. I don't know. No, Denny's is kind of.
Denny's is like.
It's not bad. It's not bad. You know, it's not bad. It's just that people just go there for food.
Waffle House
Yeah.
was amazing. I don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah, they didn't have any fights there.
It's our Waffle House.
So yeah, prices. So mainly the airfare though is the big stumbling block. I the last 2 times I've gone to Japan, I paid $50
What?
a ticket. $50 a ticket. Yeah.
Uh,
So
Who'd you
Why?
murder?
I didn't murder anybody.
Who'd you blackmail?
What I did was I have my own business, and I run all my business expenses through a credit card, which I will not show the number of.
Can you flip it to the back?
I will cover it up. There you go. The Delta card, and what that does is it builds Delta miles.
Yeah.
And so I run all my business expenses through it: my mortgage, my phone bills, property taxes, not mortgage, property tax I pay on it, internet, everything goes through that, and then it builds up enough points that I can fly to Japan every year for free. $50 a ticket.
Wait, every year?
Every year. Yeah, the last 2 years I haven't paid anything to go to Japan. I've traveled to Japan every year for
Wait,
the last 2 years.
but you're making that much money in miles like just once a year?
I don't know if I'm making that much money, but
Well, okay,
Yeah.
Well, sorry, not money, but like what?
I earn enough miles to go to Japan every year if I wanted to, for free. And so, yeah, the Delta is not the cheapest airfare either. So flying on Delta is substantially more expensive than the other options, and it's not even like the best airline either. Like, if you have your choice of airline, I would fly JAL, probably Japanese Airlines. It's really nice. Delta this time had some pretty sad food on the way
So
over.
you said JAL?
JL, Japanese Airlines, yeah. ANA is another Japanese air carrier. Spirit Airlines, yeah. Yeah, you can fly for free on Spirit. You just have to fly it yourself. Yeah.
Hey, I'm pretty good at driving. I've only hit a tower once.
So every airline has a credit card, and so United. I also have a United card. Ciela. I also have a United Mileage Plus Explorer card, and Citibank's on American Express. Yeah, and you kind of have to decide which airline you like better. Like if you have family like in Salt Lake, then you would want to have the Delta card because Delta from Fresno flies to Salt Lake. And so if your family like is mine in San Diego, you might want to get an Alaskan card because they have a direct flight. So whatever you're flying the most on is what I think you should get. And all the major carriers have flights to Japan. But I would just get one of the airlines' credit cards and start building points on it. And the other benefit is especially if you fly semi-regularly, they give you free luggage. And so if you're military, you fly and board early. But with a credit card, you get free baggage, and then also if they have open seats in the higher classes, then they bump you up. And so I got bumped up from economy class Delta to Delta Comfort Plus for my last trip to Japan, and I rejected it.
Oh,
Which is one of the reasons why I got to eat the terrible food, because it's better up in the better classes. Because when you guys are booking your flights, there is a secret to flying to Japan comfortably. The economy, like you have to look at the seat maps, and there's a website that has airline seat maps, and it will show you the actual seats. The seats that I had in economy had infinite legroom. There was 15 feet of legroom.
What?
Yeah, because it had the galley for the flight attendants, and so there's an emergency exit, but it's just 15 feet. So I could just sit there. I'm 6'6". I could just stretch out as much as I want. And so they bumped me up to economy plus, but it was a middle seat. It was a middle seat. I'm like, no, I don't. It's there's still going to be somebody in front of me, and I'm going to be surrounded by people. I would rather just have infinite legroom. The only downside is the food's not as good. And so you can do tricks like that and get a pretty nice experience, especially if you book far enough in advance. None of those seats were taken, And if you build up your points on like I do on Delta, then they prioritize your upgrades over other people. So I basically never pay for anything more than economy, and I basically always get a flight business class. So like I just booked a flight to Madrid last night, and within an hour it's like, you've been upgraded to business class. And so I'm like, cool, I'm not for Spain, yeah, going through Amsterdam.
So, but I'm saying also, so like when you mentioned Japan or airlines, do they have a credit card as well? Or?
Yeah, but they're also part of. There's different alliances. There's like Star Alliance and other things. I would not get a Japanese Airlines credit card because you're not going to be flying Japanese Airlines here in America. I would be getting whichever one is part of their alliance, and then you use the points to book. They can do what's called a code share flight. Are you guys leaving?
Yeah.
No. There's so much more to. There's so much more to talk about. Okay.
Can you share the slides with us?
Yeah. I'll send you the.
Yeah, you could just send me the slide.
I'll send you the recording.
You should also send me even the link to Dixie site 26.
You're taking us to 26, right? You should. You absolutely should. So they have code share flights, and so it'll be a Delta flight, but it's actually not a Delta flight. It's a Japanese Airlines flight or whatever their code share partner is, and so you can use your Delta miles on a Japanese airline. So I would not get a Japanese credit card unless you're living in Japan. I would get either United, American, or Delta.
Spirit.
Or Spirit Airlines, yeah. So airfare is a big cost. If you can get miles, you can make it free. After that, once you're in Japan, you can get hotels for as cheap as $20 a night. You can eat for like $1 a meal if you want. See you guys.
That
Yeah.
is
So-
positively insane.
Yeah, the airfare is the main barrier to go. Once you're there, though, the exchange rate is so good right now that you can just,
You're basically a king.
if you want to spend money, you can spend money. Like they have expensive places, like you can spend money. But assuming you don't want to just spend money, you can eat quite well for not very much money. So what we're looking at here is a ryokan kaiseki dinner. And this comes with your stay at an onsen resort. So if you stay at a ryokan onsen, a hot springs resort, you walk around in your kimono. They have hot spring bathing. It's really, really nice if you can afford it, because these things are like $250 a person a night, not a room a night, per person a night, because you get a giant feast for dinner and for breakfast. And so it's a per person cost, not a per room cost. And the hot springs are amazing. Like if you can afford it, if you can swing it, even just like 2 nights in a ryokan is just an absolutely fantastic experience. And you can see that's like that white piece of paper there. That's the menu, and it explains every single thing that you're eating. It's like 20 courses, 30 courses, something like that. So assuming you're not going kaiseki and high end, Konbini have actually decent food. It's not great food. It's decent though.
It's not like you're not going to be celebrating, but like
It's not-
If you,
it's not
if you
bad.
have an egg sandwich in like one of those versus one in the U.S.
Yeah.
Right? In the U.S., you're liable to like get
Yeah,
cholera.
in the U.S., like you're like, why do I hate myself? Why am I eating a gas station sandwich? And in Japan, they're actually not bad. And then there's the next tier up from the Konbini would be like a Caesarea or a Denny's. Denny's is different in Japan. I actually went to a Denny's last year, and they don't have a Grand Slam. I'm like, what? Like it's like a family restaurant. It's like a Coco's with like sandwiches and things like that.
His family in the U.S. as well.
But it doesn't have like the grand, like all the things you're used to at a Denny's is just not there.
I've only been in a Denny's once, and that was in
Really?
Vegas.
Okay. Yeah. It's different there. Moss Burger, by the way, is overpriced,
Huh.
but it's good. So they have a burger chain in Japan called Moss Burger, and it's actually, I actually really like it. My friends kind of poo-poos it. I actually really like it. And the cool thing about Moss Burger, they have one at Haneda Airport, so I always eat one right before I leave Japan, is that burger comes in like this paper, like, how there's normally like a wrapper, but it has this like little cone on the bottom of it, and it catches all of the drippings out of the burger. And then you take your fries and you dip it in the dippings.
That's crazy.
And it's really good. It's actually really good.
You
So
could be a maniac and just like toss that back.
that's how it's designed. It's designed to catch all the drippings, and then you dip the fries in it, and it's actually really good. My friend, again, it's like, there's much better burgers than Moss Burger, and he's correct. There are much better burgers than Moss Burger, but it's a chain. like it's like actually getting a good burger instead of McDonald's, which is eating beef jerky with a, like people have a McDonald's burger that's still not moldy after 20 years because it's literally beef jerky.
Oh yeah, so I would get like regular burgers at fast food places. I always get like a chicken one or something, or like something else.
Yeah, but like they have fast food, but like you can actually eat pretty well, and there's just good restaurants everywhere. Everywhere in Japan you go, there's like actually good eating everywhere you go, and the prices are not too bad unless you're trying to hit some Jiro loves sushi kind of place. Yeah.
Have you ever had to deal with food allergies?
I don't have food allergies, so. But the word for allergy in Japanese is allergy. So you can just tell them, you have an allergy. What are you allergic to?
All nuts.
Nuts. Yeah. So I would look that up.
Yeah.
But yeah. So that's a recon breakfast, I think, or maybe dinner.
Like positively conscious.
Yeah, that's tofu simmering in a pot. Ton of like cold dishes there. Yeah, that's breakfast. Yeah, and then if you want a beer with it, that's extra. But it's really, really good. It is an experience. That's my buddy Nick there. So that's time to go to Japan. Is in April, in my opinion. I would say that's probably the number one time if you have the opportunity to go. Is cherry blossom season if you can go during cherry blossom season, which everyone else wants to go, so there might be a price differential in that. But then again, I didn't pay because I had miles, and so I was able to fly for free during cherry blossom season, which was nice. And cherry blossom season is kind of like all across Japan, so it's not like a localized phenomenon where it's like this one, Coachella, and suddenly the prices go up to $900 a night. You know what I mean? It's across Japan, and so it's not too bad traveling during cherry blossom season because you can just go to a local park and look, there's cherry blossoms there. My friend just took me to a random river, and oh look, there's cherry blossoms along the river, and I still have some scabs on the back of my leg from where I got bitten by bugs. But it was nice. It was really nice. It was really actually a really pleasant experience. Springtime's really great. Autumn's really great. Japan in the summertime gets really hot and muggy. And so in general, the earlier in summer you can go, the better, but the more expensive the plane tickets are, because people know this. And so there's kind of a balance between how much more money do I want to pay versus am I going to be entering a sauna for the next 2 weeks, right?
Have you ever been during winter?
No, I've not been during winter, as the slide shows. I've thought about it, but it's kind of a different experience than what I usually, because I like to go up in the mountains and hike around, and you can't really do that.
It would be a nice experiment, because I wonder what the price is.
It would be interesting. I want to go skiing there, and so maybe I'll do that sometime. But early June is nice. There's a rainy season, and Japan's an island, so it's just going to rain on you no matter when you go. Like there's just periodic rainstorms that come through, and I've had to cancel hikes and whatever due to rain, and it happens. You have to be a little bit flexible with the rain, but it gets really rainy as June progresses, and so end of May, like right after school gets out, is a really good time to go. The weather's still good, but kind of as it gets into July and August, it just turns into like a steam sauna. It's just hot and muggy and kind of miserable, but airfare's cheap, so I don't know. And then after people go back to school, it gets a lot cheaper. So there's
Now it's muggy.
yeah.
Expensive.
But October is not expensive at all. October is good weather. I got snowed on in October though. That did happen. It was like really late October. I got snowed on up in the mountains.
I'm a snow guy, Alex.
Yeah, but generally speaking, spring and autumn if you can. This is
Oh,
yeah.
that's crazy.
Yeah.
The lavender thing. I don't know what flower that is.
That is in, so this is the Totoro house in Nagoya. So they made a recreation of the Kiki's, not Kiki, Mayan Sumi's house in Totoro, My Neighbor Totoro. So they made a recreation of it. It's like down to the detail. There's a pot with a bottom missing in it, and the hats and all that kind of stuff. It's a complete recreation of Totoro, and that's just there also in Nagoya. And yeah, it's just really pretty, And this is This was May, I think. So really, really pretty in May. And so in Japan, there is a wide variety of things you can see. A lot of people think of Japan just in terms of like this, like big skyscrapers, cyberpunk, high tech, bullet trains, this kind of stuff, and that exists. And in parts of Tokyo, like Shinjuku, Shibuya, Akihabara, you're going to have these big skyscrapers with video walls on them and all this kind of stuff. This is Robot Restaurant, where I've been a couple times. They have these big animatronic robots that walk around, and that does exist. That is a thing, but there's a lot more to Japan than that. And I think a lot of tourists, unfortunately, the two of them that are going have left. But I really want to encourage people not just to go to just the big cities.
Yeah, don't go to just Tokyo.
Don't go to just Tokyo. I mean, Tokyo is a big city and it's got a lot of stuff in it. Like I went to a beautiful park inside of Tokyo this last time and had massive cherry blossoms just everywhere. Like it was really scenic and really nice. And the river that I went to is in Tokyo. Tokyo is a massive, big, it's really, really big. And it's not just all like downtown skyscrapers, but I would really recommend getting out to the countryside, going hiking, going to hot springs. There's a lot more to Japan than Tokyo and Osaka and Kyoto. Temples and shrines, definitely hit up. Castles, nature, I highly, highly recommend. Japan's nature is really beautiful. Museums, parks, and I always do like a couple days in a city, then I go out into the countryside, then I go back into a city, then I hit up a hot springs. That's kind of how I kind of mix things up a little bit. This is Robot Restaurant, the big animatronic robots that do a show. They serve you churros, not sure why. Culture and faux pas. So things not to do in Japan. There's only a couple, I say, when in reality there's maybe, a lot. Like the first couple times I went, I was always afraid I was just like sticking my foot in my mouth or just like insulting somebody accidentally. And some of the times I was, so like I said earlier, sumimasen, excuse me, instead of just walking up and talking to somebody, excuse me, no, you're please, thank you, excuse me, is a big pardon. Number one rule though, take your shoes off. Like we actually got nabbed on this last trip. We went into a house. It was a museum house. We went to an architectural museum. My daughter's thinking about being an architect maybe, and so they have an architectural museum. That's where those cherry blossoms were. Big cherry blossom, 10,000 people probably there, all doing hanami, cherry blossom viewing, and then in this park they had an architectural museum. It's one of the places where the Studio Ghibli guy Hayao Miyazaki would go to get inspiration for his art. And we went into one of the houses, and we had a tour guide. She's like, "Oh, this is a place where you can keep your shoes on." We walk in there, and a person comes running up to us. No, you have to take your shoes off. And I was, because they had a sliding door and it was just open. And she like looks around. Because there's a place usually for you to take your shoes off. It's like called a Genkan or something, right? And they'll have a little shoe rack. You take your shoes off, you go inside, and this place is just open. And she's looking at it. She's like, no, this place isn't one of the ones that require you to take your shoes off. We walk in and we promptly get, no, stop.
Is it like to keep it clean or?
No, there's just a different entrance. We just came in through the patio entrance, basically. And there was the front door, and the front door had the shoe rack on it. And I was just like, The shoe thing is probably the most common. You can see, this is inside of a castle, this photo here. This is in Himeji-jo Castle. Everyone there is in socks. And when you walk around the castles and things like that, you see how everybody has these shopping bags? That has your shoes in it. So they make you, like, there's going to be a person there telling you to take your shoes off at a big castle.
Yeah.
And then you walk around with a shoe bag, and then when you leave, you put your shoes back on.
What about, so like restaurants as well?
No, well, it depends. It depends. Just follow what other people are doing.
Okay.
Like, if there's ever an area like this, and then there's a step up, that step up is usually a sign, don't step on the step up part. Your shoes have to come off on the ground floor. You step up on your socks, okay? And then you bend over and pick up your shoes. A lot of people will step up with their shoes on, then turn around and take them off. Nope. Shoes are at ground level, you step up on the step, and basically just kind of look around. Anytime I go into a Japanese restaurant, house, castle, you know, just look at it. People have their shoes on in there? Yeah? Okay. Double check? Okay. Got to be very careful. Not like I was in a castle last month, and I go in and it's raining, so I come in, I'm all wet, and there's a Japanese guy there. It was like a wing of the castle, and it was just empty. And he's like, make sure you take your shoes off. And I'm like, okay, you got it. And I'm walking forward. He's like, make sure you take your shoes off before you step up. I'm like, all right, you got it. And I sit down, I take my shoes off, put them on the rack. He nods at me, I nod at him. I walk around the castle, take some photos. I'm coming out, and I'm putting my shoes back on. They usually have a chair where you can sit down, put your shoes on. And these American guys come in, and they just go right up into it from the rain. So it's all muddy and stuff, And as I said, I'm like, no. And the Japanese guy's like, stop. And just, I'm like, no, stop. and then they're like, what? I'm like, and the Japanese guy comes running. He's like, don't worry, we have a mop for this. Don't worry about it. And he goes and he has to mop all their
So actually,
footprints up.
So you brought up what I'm interested in. So because is a lot of the flooring carpet? Or
It's wood.
It's wood.
Yeah, and so they're tracking all this mud up onto the wood, and the guy had to get out a mop and mop it up. He was very nice to them, but it was just funny because he was so insistent with me, make sure you're doing it right. I'm like, yeah, I got you. And then I was like, oh, that's why, because he probably has to deal with this 30 times a day, And they blew right past him. He was like, just say, So don't do that. That's the number one thing. This isn't Himeji. This is. It's on Lake Biwa. It sounds like Himeji. It's like the off-brand Himeji. It's like Himeji. I don't know. I don't remember the name of it. It's a castle on the east side of Lake Biwa. It sounds like Himeji though, but it's not Himeji. The other thing is to always be considerate. So the primer, yeah.
So what do you do if you have sandals on? Do you just carry sandals?
The sandals are great.
But would you
Yeah.
have to take them off?
Yeah, you slip them off. Yeah, and so if you're constantly going in and out, that's why they have sandals everywhere. And so you just slip them off, put them on the shelf, slip them back on, you leave. Slip them off, slip them on. There's another thing with the shoe thing. You have to put shoes on in the restroom. But your shoes are over there. So what they have in the restroom is a public pair of slippers that everybody uses while pooping. And you get to share I'm like, is this hygienic?
I mean, I guess, right?
Usually, but I'm sharing.
I understand the concern.
If people are
same
peeing and they're too small for me, so my 2 toes are in it, and then my feet are just and I'm awkwardly walking on these things.
You're in Japan, you gotta wear the poop shoes.
I don't. That part I don't get. It's your feet can't.
The slippers from Tokyo Drift.
I haven't seen that, but yeah, there's slippers. Yeah, there's slippers, and everyone shares them, and I don't understand it. At least because it doesn't even fit my feet, but it's super awkward, and you have to put on your slippers to go to the bathroom, even if the toilet's right there. You have to put them on and then walk 3 steps and then go to the bathroom. Hineji? No. What's the name of that? It's gonna bother me. It's like Himeji, but it's not Himeji. Okay. So the other big rule is to always be considerate. Don't play music on your cell phone. Logan, see, I had a thing for Logan in there. He's already left. We were hiking in Yosemite. He's playing his music. He's playing Hotel California while we're hiking.
You can't.
He had a speaker hanging from his backpack, and he was blasting Hotel California while hiking in Yosemite.
I'm gonna be honest. I don't understand how it's not a universal thing. I'm sorry. If I'm on a train and some guy is playing music on his speaker, I'm like, dude, you may like it. We're on a train, man. Get some headphones.
I was at a coffee shop today, and this dude was playing music. He's an old dude. He's 50 years old, and he's playing music. And I just keep looking at him. I'm like, you should know this. You should know this. And he'd stop it, and then he'd start playing it again. It's like watching videos on Facebook, or I don't know, something.
That's why grandma's got my script.
And so in Japan, you can't talk on a phone. My friend from San Diego, he was talking. So I'm like, dude, you can't talk on your phone. He's like, oh, this won't take more than 5 minutes. And everyone's just staring at him. I'm just like, oh.
Wait, so I was like, where do you like talk to?
Text.
People? Huh?
Get off the train.
Oh, okay. So it's like no talking.
No talking. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Get off the train or text. You know.
So like if you're on the street, it's like.
Yeah.
No, you cannot call people period.
No. Yeah.
Yeah. Phone
Yeah.
is banned.
No, but on the train, be quiet. Text people. Set your phone on mute. Don't make any noise. Talking loudly will get you looked at. Like there were some tourists and their kid was screaming and running around the train, and all the Japanese people were just like looking at them. Like they don't say anything. They just look at them. Judging. Yeah.
What would you say is the expectation for like quieting your child? Like, because toddlers aren't going.
Yeah, I mean, babies are gonna cry, you know, but like the parents weren't doing anything to like restrain the kid. It was like a 3-year-old or something. It was just running around, screaming at people, you know. Like the parents could have like picked him up and like, you know, tried quieting him. They just let the kid run free, you know, bothering people.
I hate it because like I'm just looking at this and I'm like, well, this is just like regular stuff you're supposed to do. Anyway,
Should be,
you know?
should be.
Like,
Yeah, my friend from San Diego, he had this giant luggage on the Shinkansen. He was trying to squeeze it past a Japanese woman. He had 2 seats and 2 seats or something like that. And a Japanese woman was on the aisle seat. And he was trying to slide his massive, by the way, if you can, don't take massive luggage to Japan. Just as a general rule of thumb, like the overhead luggage compartment for a airplane, that size, the roller, that's the perfect size for Japan. Big oversized luggages. If you're on a Shinkansen, oftentimes they have reserved zones for luggage. He didn't reserve it, and so he's trying to slide it past this Japanese woman. He kept slamming it into her knee, and so he slammed it into her knee, and he slammed it into her knee. He was about to slam it in a 3rd time, and she looks at him and goes, "No!" Like that.
yeah,
And
no, I'm sorry, that's not it. You gotta like ask like, oh, I'm so sorry.
remember earlier you said, how many rude Japanese people have you seen? That doesn't count, because he was ramming this into her knee.
Yeah,
and I'm like, dude, stop. Just put it on the overhead rack or something,
Sorry,
you
say,
know.
like, sumimasen.
So yeah, and or just ask to get by or something, and he was just slamming it into this woman's knee. I do not blame that woman in the slightest, but it was very rare to see somebody actually break face like that and just be like, no.
if that was done here, like that would have been deserved.
Yeah.
You know, like
Yeah, I was like, you done goofed up, man. you goofed up. So yeah, I have a bullet point here. Don't smash your luggage into people. Don't block traffic, especially in a busy train station. People will get off a train and then check their cell phones. Like, okay, where do we need to go? And there's like 500 people behind you. And so, yeah, just move out of the way. There's a big flow of traffic, especially in Tokyo. Just get out of the way.
you find some spot.
Especially when you get off the subway and there's like a wall, just move with the flow. Once you get to kind of an open area, move out of the way. You can check your directions then. Don't eat food while walking. Some areas you can eat food while walking. If it's like a street festival and people are handing out like street food, you can walk and eat. But then you got trash. And there's no trash cans.
Yeah. Okay. See,
Anyway,
the
so-
don't eat food while walking is like the one thing here where I'm like, yeah,
Yeah.
that isn't like a normal.
Yeah, people will walk down the street eating a sandwich.
Yeah.
In general, you don't do that. There are some areas, like at a food, like at that Hanami, the big cherry blossom festival. They have street vendors. They're handing out dango, like the rice balls. People are walking around eating them. Where do you throw it away if there's no trash can? Oftentimes, you walk back to the place where you bought it and hand it back to them. So, yeah, the trash, because there are no trash cans as a general rule in Japan. 2 years ago, I saw one on the street, and I took a picture of it. Because it was the first public trash can I had seen in Japan in years. And it was in a nice area. It was in the Roppongi area. And I was like, oh my gosh, it was not a big one either. It was like a little kitchen sized, or not even that big. I was like, there's a trash can on the street, and I like took a picture of it. It was outside of a Lawson market, so it was, still the same idea of the Lawson's pit. But yeah, most of the time, like I ate a crepe last year, and I walked back to the crepe place and handed them the paper. They get the little paper plate, and a little fork, and I folded it up, and they take it, and then they throw it away. So you give it back to the place where you got it, as a general rule, or you pack it out into your hotel room.
Or convenient.
Or you go to a convenience, yeah. Although people will get mad at you, like,
Why do you do that?
I've never seen people get mad. My friend in Japan does it all the time. Oh, we got trash? Oh, there's a Lawson market. He goes in there, throws it away, walks out. I always feel bad, and I always want to buy something, and
I
then
mean, I'm sorry, but it's like, well, okay, it's either this or I spend 3 hours carrying this with
Yeah,
me, or I throw
you
it on
do.
the street.
You carry it out with you.
I can't,
You
I'm
carry it
sorry.
out with you.
I'm going to the convenience
Yeah,
store.
yeah.
I'm sorry, convenience.
Yeah, it's not rude. I mean, some people might say it's rude.
I'm
Okay.
gonna have to keep a book on me.
So this is Shibuya Scramble. You guys have probably seen this in anime. It turns red in all directions, and then people can cross in every direction. So the Shibuya area, big skyscrapers. This is 2 different years. This is 2008. This is 2 years ago, I think. Lots of construction there. They've done lots of work. There's bridges in different directions now, giant skyscrapers, tons of nice places to eat around there. So the Shibuya district in Tokyo is kind of a fancy pants. It's more upscale, more expensive. Don't stay there. Don't stay there as a hotel. The hotels are not nice and they're very pricey. You're going to be paying $280 a night, something like that, for a tiny room. Shibuya Scramble. That's this crossing here. It's got the Hachiko statue. It's great to visit as a tourist once, in my opinion. Lots of shopping around there, but it's just pricey, and there's other areas to visit. Rule 3: just follow their customs, right? So if you're going to a shrine, you're going to see people they have this little ladle, and they're like washing their hands. Just do it. Okay. So you do
Was
this.
this from the trip that you just
This,
took?
this is from last year. So I went to this is in Dejima, which is the trading post. For hundreds of years, the only place where Westerners could come into Japan was in Dejima. It's an island off the coast of Nagasaki, and so they have it preserved. And so this guy's like a historical reenactor in Dejima. But like I'm saying, like it's observe the Japanese people. If they're washing their hands when they go into a shrine, wash your hands when you go into a shrine. And there's a certain pattern to it, like this hand, wash the ladle. Like just observe, see a couple people doing it, then do it yourself. Okay. Always remember please and thank you. Gomenasai. If you mess up, sumimasen for excuse me. You can bow to people. Thank you. A little bow. Big thing is not to refer to people by their first name. Like if I called you Kimberly, that'd be rude. Okay?
Yeah, that is one thing.
If I called you Covarrubias, that'd be rude. You're Covarrubias-san, right? Petit-san, right? Last name san. If you remember how we're saying politeness is distance.
Yeah.
And so san is a polite way of referring to somebody. If I drop it, that means we're friends. And you've never met me before. What the hell? And so you're like, why are you, that's weird. Like, why are you acting all buddy-buddy with me? That's strange. If you've met somebody for the first time and you don't refer to them by san, it's like, hey buddy, how you doing? Who are you? Go away,
Yeah, that is one thing I always found interesting. That is like one of the few things I did pick up on when watching Japanese media is how they would always refer to them by the last name. Like by last name, I think that's interesting. So,
last name san, yeah.
Yeah, I think it's interesting because I think it's a really unique thing to Japanese people because I feel like when I think of most cultures, it's just the first name, and then even when referring to the last name, it's like there's an appendage, right? It's like Mr.
Kearney,
Mr. this
yeah,
or that. Like,
yeah.
There's yeah.
And you can also refer to somebody by the first name, Kyoko-san, something like that. But it implies a certain amount of formality, politeness, but also distance.
Okay.
And so dropping it isn't necessarily rude. Like if we're friends, you could just be Jeremy, because we're friends. If I always refer to you as Jeremy-san, you always call me Bill, and I always refer to you as Jeremy-san, that means you're trying to be friends with me, and I'm pushing you away. So polite doesn't necessarily mean nice. It doesn't necessarily mean I'm being warm to you. No. It means
Stay away.
you're over there and I'm over here, right? And so that's why, like I said, in anime, they have this dance where people are, I'm going to drop the san, I'm going to start using informal words, but is the other person going to do the same thing? Because somebody has to do it first. Somebody has to refer to the person as Kimberly first, not Kimberly-san first, and they go, I don't know, and they always do this in anime, and then the other person calls them Bill back, and, oh, good, we're friends now. It's like, do you want to be friends with me? Kind of
But
thing.
it's like last name, like selectifying that people are going to be calling me Brereton song.
Yeah, Burton-san. Yeah, exactly.
That's so awesome.
Good luck saying that to you. Rare, yeah, bre, yeah.
Yeah, people are going to be having.
That is
like,
rare,
this guy
rare,
with a name.
rare. The red part, the second red, yeah, the first one, good luck. So 7-day itinerary, I would recommend maybe doing a little bit more than 7 days because flights are going to eat into your schedule and jet lag is going to eat into your schedule a little bit. But here's a 7-day itinerary. So you fly LAX to NRT, Narita. At Narita, you get your JRail pass. Now, you don't have to activate it on the day that you get it. So like my last trip was 9 days. So I flew into Haneda, I exchanged my JRail pass, but I set the activation date for 2 days in the future because I was going to spend 2 days in Tokyo, and deliberately so. So I would subway around, and then it would activate on the third day, and then I went to Kanazawa, and then I would train around for 7 days, and with the last day coming back into Tokyo. And so so if you're going to be there for 9 days, you have to think about if you're doing a 7-day JRail pass, not to put Tokyo in the middle of it, because if you're using the subway, you're wasting that very expensive JRail pass. So I like to stick Tokyo at the very beginning and end of the trip, and just use the IC card on that, and then put the 7 days of Shinkansen around in the middle. So yeah, Tokyo's got a ton of stuff. I can't list everything in Tokyo. Tokyo is a massive, massive town with everything you can possibly want under the sun. Temples, castles, everything. Shibuya is that area I just showed you, the Shibuya Scramble, this area here. It's worth visiting once. Shinjuku, I've stayed in Shinjuku a few times. It's gone downhill, in my opinion, but again, it's big, massive skyscrapers, video arcades. There's a lot of litter on the streets now. It's actually not particularly nice these days. Godzilla hotels there, robot restaurants there. There's a lot of interesting things in Shinjuku. The train station is massive in Shinjuku. Ueno has a park. It's got museums, like the national museums are there. It's got a zoo. It's got a lily pad. Ueno, I've stayed in Ueno a few times. Ueno train station is a Shinkansen station. And so you can stay there, see all the stuff in Ueno, and Ueno Station, subway, J-Rail, Shinkansen, it's a good place. Hotels there are not particularly expensive either. Imperial Palace is worth seeing. Yoyogi Park is worth seeing. So that picture there is from Osaka. They actually built a skyscraper in front of a shrine, so they put a giant cutout in the skyscraper so that it doesn't block the shrine. It's kind of cool. I like Takayama. Takayama is a city up in the Japanese Alps. I really like the Japanese Alps. They're beautiful. Really good hiking up there. There's a place called Kamikochi, which is the Japanese Yosemite. And Kamikochi is gorgeous. It is. I've been there twice. I'd like to go back there again in the autumn time because there is a volcanic crater that is all lined with Japanese maples, and it all turns bright red. It's carpeted with bright red Japanese maples, and you go camping there. Spend the night in this volcanic crater that's all bright red. I want to do it. Staying at Ryokan. Ryokan is, again, a hot springs resort. They have a lot of hot springs in the Takayama area. Take your pick. You have to bus around to get to the different hot springs, but you can go onsen hopping. So you can actually get a bus pass for the day and go from onsen to onsen to onsen, and you show up at a place that's not your hotel. You're like, hey, I'd like to use the hot springs here. They're like, it'll be $5, please. And you pay them $5, and you go stay in their hot springs. You bathe there, and some of them have hot springs right next to a river, and so you're just chilling in the hot springs, and there's a little cave you can go into, and there's a mountain with snow on it, and there's a river, and you're just chilling, and you're like, oh, that was fun. Let's go to the next one. You go, a couple miles up the street, go to another hot springs. And it's just a fun experience to go hot spring hopping. You do have to be comfortable with nudity because generally speaking, they don't allow you to wear clothes in the hot springs unless it is a co-ed hot springs, in which case you can put on a swimsuit or something like that. So it was a bit of a shock to me this last year, a year ago. I was in what I thought was the men's hot spring. So everybody's sitting there naked. A dude's passing beer. He's got a bottle of sake. We got beers. We're all sitting there drinking, and a woman just walks in, and we're like, oh, that's interesting. Apparently, it was the co-ed hot springs. There's a women's hot springs, which is for women only, and then there was what I thought was the men's hot springs was the co-ed hot springs. But she didn't seem to mind, so she had her towel on, was chilling with her husband or whatever. Yeah.
Oh, so she can wear her towel?
Yeah, she had a towel wrapped around her.
Oh, okay.
And so, generally speaking, you are not supposed to ever have your towel contact the hot spring water, but in a co-ed bath, it's normal for women to have a towel around them. and then the dudes to like whatever, you know. And so, I mean, it was her choice, you know, to be there. Like, there's the separate women's hot springs, but she wanted to be with her husband in the hot spring. Okay, her choice. You know, we just kept drinking, like, okay, you
So
know.
for couples, it would just be co-ed?
Yeah, sometimes a lot of places it's men only or women's only, and then some places are co-ed, and you just have to check. And so, like that place I was telling you by the river, that was a co-ed hot spring. So I went with my wife, and so there's dudes there. They're naked. My wife had a towel on, and it's just how it is. Like, you just kind of have to be comfortable with nudity at those things. There's also places called Sento, which are city bath houses, and I went to one for the first time last month with my buddy Nick, and it's just families walking around, kids running around all naked, you know, in different hot springs and things like that. And like I said, you just kind of have to be comfortable with that to go to them, and they're really nice. Like, going to hot springs is honestly just a really fantastic experience that I highly recommend. There's also private onsen. So like at a lot of places you can book the private onsen, and so you pay $5 or something like that. Where I was staying in Tokyo last year, actually had a private onsen, and so it was just in Tokyo, but it had in the ground floor, it had 2 private onsen, and so for $5 it's yours for the hour, and so you can go to the hot spring by yourself or with your wife or whoever, you know, and so co-ed, private onsen are generally co-ed because it's you and your you know, family or whatever, so that's another way you can do it, and they're fantastic. It's one of the best things ever. Then Kyoto and Osaka. So Tokyo, Kyoto, and Osaka are the 3 big cities in Japan. They're all worth seeing. They're all different. 14 days I'd probably recommend, because most of the price is the airfare, right? In Japan itself, it's not very expensive. And so if you're going to pay the airfare, you might as well get some value out of it, in my opinion. The only reason I did a 9-day this time, I normally travel for 30 days to Japan. And you'd be like, oh, that's expensive. How much should I pay for Namikaze versus Japan? Like, if you think about the difference in living expenses, like, it's not as like, am I making money off? You know, like, 'cause I'm paying, like, I was doing the math. I could eat for like $10 a day in Japan, right? And that's not eating badly either. Like, that's talking about iced teas, sandwiches, burger, like whatever. Like, I could eat for $10 a day reasonably well. Versus here in America, where, you know, one meal at Namikaze is, you know, $40, $60, right? Am I making money? I don't know, you know. So in general, you know, the longer you can go, the better. But this time I had a 9-day because I had to fit it into spring break. So we had a week off for spring break plus a weekend, so 9 days in Japan. So yeah, you fly in, see Tokyo. They have amusement parks in Japan that some people are into. There's Disney Tokyo. There's Disney Sea. We went to Universal Studios Japan this time in Osaka, and it's a big, crowded amusement park. So, you know, my daughter really wanted to go to Universal Studios Japan, and it was really cool. I will admit it. It was really cool. They have these RFID bracelets. So I was on Team Donkey Kong, and I tapped it, and you do a mini game, and you earn points for Team Donkey Kong. And at the end of the day, it says who won. You know, Team Donkey Kong did win. And my daughter was on Team Peach, you know, and so it's really cool. Just very crowded, very expensive. Not my cup of tea, but my daughter loved it, so it was worth it. South of Tokyo, there's a lot of really cool things to see. So if you want to base out of the Tokyo area, there's a place called Kamakura, which has it was the capital of Japan in the 1300s, and it's old, historic. I actually hiked the mountains around it because the reason why it was selected as the capital, it's surrounded by mountains and then the sea, and so it's highly defensible. And so there's only a certain number of gates into the area, and everything else, the mountains are like this. And so I actually hiked the mountains around Kamakura and fell several times. Like, it was all mud and just, it was a pretty gnarly hike, but it was cool. And then there's a place called Enoshima near there, which is an island off the coast of Japan, but there's a bridge going out to it, and so you can go out and cross this bridge into the ocean, across the ocean, and see this island, and it's beautiful. So there's the Godzilla hotel, right? The Hotel Grace, where the guy is like, no, that guy. I'm like, how do you not know Hotel Grace? Like, you know, Gojira no Hoteru. Like, it's the Godzilla Hotel. It's a mile away from us. How do you not know this? You were at the Shinjuku Civic. Okay, whatever. This is the Golden Pavilion in Kyoto. I was there last year. My wife adamantly refused to go to it, so only when I went by myself was I able to see this.
Why did she refuse?
She just thinks it's tacky. It's all gold leaf. It's
Oh,
gold
it's
leaf.
made of gold?
It's not. It's
Well,
covered in gold
okay, it's
leaf.
covered in- okay.
It is not pure gold. It is got gold leaf covering it. It's very pretty, and the whole gardens around there is really nice too. But my wife was like, I don't want to. No. So last year I went by myself. My buddy Nick and I did a road trip kind of across Kyushu, and so I was able to go see this by myself. That's the Godzilla Hotel. This is the Kabukicho part of Shinjuku. Big, and these are all entertainment areas. Like the signs there on the side say karaoke, 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 and
So those is Central Road.
what's that?
So just Central Road, like the English sign.
Yeah, that's the main Kabukicho Road, and it's all food, namabiru, fresh beer, curry joint. What else? Camera stores. Like it's a big, like it's popping. You know, the trouble is though, like I said, in recent years it's kind of gone downhill. There's a lot of litter there now, which Japan is pretty unusual. And I was walking around the left side of the Godzilla building over there, and a whole bunch of hostesses were lined up and making people walk down this gauntlet of hundreds of hostesses, and they're all like beckoning you, like, please come with me. And I'm just like, this is so weird. This is bafflingly weird to me. And it's just an infinite like line of hostesses on either side. Like, come on, come to my hostess club, So this is Shizuoka, by the way. A lot of people have never heard of Shizuoka. I actually really like Shizuoka. Tons of stuff to see in Kyoto and Osaka. I've got like some things on them in the next couple slides. So 14-day itinerary, a few days in Tokyo, a few days in Takayama, a few days in Kyoto and Osaka, then back to Tokyo. I would actually probably split that up and do a little bit more nature. But in Kyoto and Osaka, there's hikes you can do there, like in Nara and the Philosopher's Walk, and there's an old Kofuin trail, I forget the name of it. It goes through the old graves of the emperors and things like that. So good news, Japan's really cheap right now. The exchange rate as of today is 158 to 1. Historically, the yen is 100 to 1. So that's how cheap Japan is right now. Prices are still the same, but your dollar just buys you 58 more yen for every dollar. So it's
Can you go back to a festival and like down to
yeah. So Kyoto, Osaka, I spent like almost an entire month in Kyoto. Like I said, I like to go for about 30 days. We actually just rented a Kiyomachi, Kiyomachiya, which is a old 100-year-old house in Kyoto, like an old style historic house. We just rented it and just did trips out of Kyoto, and that was really cool. You can spend a month in Kyoto. It is a really, really cool city. I really like it. I've never been to Mount Fuji. I don't have any desire to hike Mount Fuji. I've seen Mount Fuji. When we were leaving, Mount Fuji is right out of the window of our airplane, which is crazy. It was an absolutely crazy shot. Maybe I'll pull it up here in a second. Yeah, so anyway, Japan's very cheap. It's like everything's like 40% off because their prices are still the same. J-Rail has been jacking it up because it's only for Americans, but everything else has been pretty much the same. It's been 150-ish yen for a bottle of iced tea about this big since as long as I can remember. And we've had all this inflation, and the dollar is even stronger somehow. And so yeah, you can get a bottle of Itoen iced tea for like $1 at a convenience.
that is so insane for me.
Yeah,
Because I go down to the vending machine down here and it's like $2.50 for a soda. I'm just like,
is it $2.50 for a soda?
What's the vending machine?
Is it? Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's $2.50.
And then you go to like the Save Mart Center to watch a volleyball game. It's $14 for a beer. Yeah. At Boots in the Park, it was $21 a beer. Yeah.
Everyone here just wants to scam you, man.
Yeah, and in Japan, it's just like,
Oh, you want tea? $1.
it's $1 for a bottle of tea. Yeah.
$1, man.
Like I said, if you can get free airfare. It is actually pretty cheap vacation. Like I said, the big dinner was $80 for 6 people. And then if hotels in Tokyo are expensive, especially if you're me and you want to have like queen size bed, because Japanese beds are small. And so
I was actually going to ask about
Yeah.
that, like, because like Japanese beds are different from other places.
twin beds are the most common size. And so if you're a big person, Japan is not a particularly comfortable country to travel in. I count how many times I hit my head every time I go to Japan. And ironically, it was like the Shinkansen this time that I cracked my head on the most. I've gotten pretty good at like, because they have those like drapes over the entrances, you know? I've gotten pretty good because the lintel will sometimes be here. I've walked right into, just knocked myself out almost, you know, walking into a restaurant. So I'm pretty good now. I'm like coming through, you know, like this. There's a piece of wood there. They got me. They got me before. They don't get me now. What's that? Like, hi everyone. They walk in like this. Yeah, hotels. I try to get queen size beds because trying to share a twin size bed with my wife is like, forget about it. But if you're willing to accept small hotel rooms, you can stay in Tokyo reasonably cheaply, not in Shibuya or something like that. But you know, you like $100 a night. You know, you can do like tiny. They're kind of tiny. It's doable. But outside of Tokyo, like I stayed in Matsumoto, and I actually did something I've never done before when searching for hotel rooms, and I set a minimum price. I have never set a minimum price on a hotel room before. And I'm like, I am getting like $20 hotel room nights. I don't trust that. I'm like, what? Like, what is this? You know, why is it $20? You know, so I actually set a minimum price on it. And I couldn't find a hotel room there for more than like 80 or $100 a night. And so I ended up getting 2 penthouse suites, essentially, with a view of Matsumoto Castle. It's like, we had the entire upper floor to ourselves. There's the window. There's the castle. $100 a night.
Oh, that's great.
You know, I was like, all right. You know, so especially if you're not in Tokyo or the big cities, you can stay very, very cheaply. Airbnbs are a thing in Japan. They're not necessarily the most price efficient unless you're traveling with a larger group. If you're traveling with a larger group, Airbnbs make a lot of sense, especially in places like Kyoto. Hotels can be kind of pricey. And so if you get an Airbnb, especially in like the Gion district, which is like the historic district, I've had friends do that. And you divide it up among 8 people, and it's actually quite economical. Turns out to be like, you know, $20-30 a night instead of 100 something per person. So this is a Toshugu shrine in Nikko. So Nikko is about an hour or 2 north of Tokyo by train, and it's the gravesite of the first Tokugawa shogun. And it's really, really nice. The Nikko area, that's a place I would really consider adding to your itinerary if you're thinking about things. It's, like I said, a couple hours north of Tokyo, and there's a lake, Chozenji, up there. It's the deepest lake in Japan, and the European embassies were all built around it because at a high elevation. It was a volcanically created lake. So there was an eruption 500 years ago. The lava flow closed off a valley, and it filled with water. And so it was up at high altitude. So in the summertime, it was really nice. And so in the summertime, it's a really nice place to visit. And you can go hike the volcano and stuff like that. And then they have in Nikko the Toshogu shrine, which is really, really nice. And there's a lot of nature. It's beautiful. Highly recommend it. That's my daughter dressed up in a kimono when she was 5 years old. I'm proud of that. That's one of my favorite photos ever. And so if you want to spend money, you can spend money. This photo shoot my wife wanted to do was not cheap. It was not a cheap photo shoot. It was me, my wife, our best friend, and our daughter dressed up in Heian period kimono, including a translator. You want to guess how much money that was?
A lot.
More than that.
800?
More than that.
1,200.
Yeah, around there. Yeah, for a couple hours. It was. If you want to spend money, you can spend money in Japan. But I recommend not spending money. Like, you know, I don't know. Like if there's something you really want to do, like I'm happy we did it because this is just a wonderful photo of my daughter. If you want to do it. But airfare, $30 1,300 person sounds about right. Hotel 100 a night, you can really do cheaper than that. Bless you. You can really do cheaper than 100 a night, but it really depends how comfortable you are with tiny, tiny hotel rooms. I stayed in a tiny, tiny hotel room in Kanazawa this time, and it was uncomfortable to me. There wasn't enough room for your luggage. So they recommend you put the luggage under the bed. And they had a chair and a desk, but I couldn't sit in the chair because the bed was up against the desk. So I'm like, I don't understand this chair. Why is this chair here? Like, the desk is here. I sat on the edge of the bed and just used my laptop. Like, why is there a chair here? It's in the way. Like, there shouldn't be a chair. Just let me sit on the bed and type. But the chair is like sitting there in the way. So I'd like pull the chair out from under the desk and put it in the tiny, tiny little exit corridor to get out to the door. And then I would have to work my way around it every time. Like, it's gargantuanly uncomfortable. If you stand like these really, I'm a big guy too, but if you want to go economy, these rooms are tiny. And I was sharing with my wife, she had to climb over me in the middle of the night to go to the bathroom because the bed is surrounded by a wall on 3 sides. And then there's about a 1 foot space between the bed and the desk. And so every time she got up, I'm like, wow, there's somebody.
It's $20, right?
Huh?
$20. Isn't it?
No, because this was at the train station. It was a really nicely located hotel, and it had an onsen. So it had a really nice hot springs. It had an outdoor. It had an outdoor onsen.
Like close to 80, 100.
It was around something like that. It's like 60 a night, something like that. But it had a outdoor so I'm sitting there in a hot springs and it's raining. I'm just sitting there chilling outdoor in a hot springs and the rain coming down. I was just like, this is really nice. There's cherry blossoms. I was just like, the room sucked, but it was a really nice hotel. The room kind of sucked. It was very cheap. So $100 a night, you can do better than that. Food $60 a day, you can do better than that. Like I said, you can eat on $10 a day in Japan. I'm just kind of giving you sort of ballpark figures here. J-Rail Pass is expensive. You can do better than J-Rail Pass. You can get a regional pass, or if you're just going to a couple places, you can just, like if you're only going to 2 cities, just book the train tickets. Don't get a J-Rail Pass. J-Rail passes are very expensive. So to spend 2 weeks there, it's looking about $3,000 a person. 1 week there is about $2,300 a person. But you can do better. You can do better. So if you if you get free airfare, if you get hotels for $20 a night, food for $10 a day, don't get a J-Rail pass. It's like $200 to go to Japan for a week.
So
you get free airfare, you can hotel and food
it's just
like $300. I don't know, something like that for a week.
bro.
What's that?
Us in the Philippines, with the dollar to the peso ratio.
Yeah. If you want to go cheaper, and I'm not even scraping the bottom of the barrel for frugal, $20 a night in Matsumoto, it's not, not unusual. Okay. So we're getting kicked out. No?
Yeah. What time are you guys in?
We're wrapping up right now. Yep. Okay. So other places to visit. Kanazawa is on kind of the west coast or the north coast of Japan. It's a town famous for its food. It has a lot of places in Japan have good food. It has really good food. It's famous for gold leaf, and so they have gold leaf wrapped around the ice cream. They have gold leaf in the mochi that I gave to some of you guys.
Yeah, it was interesting.
They have a lot of they have an association of small businesses there that have been crafting it has to have been in your family for over 100 years. And so it's an organization of historic crafting families, and they have dozens and dozens of, they do a lot of pottery and food and a lot of really cool stuff. Onsen Town's really great. So an onsen town is a place where the entire point of the town is to go to hot springs. And so this is Kinosaki Onsen. And there's a canal and there's willow trees lining it. And as you walk around the town, there's just all these different hot springs. They're all public hot springs. And so you can get an onsen pass and go onsen hopping. And they'll stamp you. And so you have a little passport and you collect all the stamps for the 7 different onsens in town, and everybody wears kimono. and go walking around their kimono. And they have ice cream and soft serve and little arcade games from the Showa period and stuff like that. And it's just a very relaxing experience. Because everybody is there to just chill and relax in the hot springs. All the hot springs are different. Some of them are up against a mountain. You get a beautiful mountain. Some of them are beautiful tile. They have all sorts of different styles and temperatures and things like that. Kamakura is right south of Tokyo, so if you're staying in Tokyo, Kamakura and Enoshima are really good places to visit. There's usually an observation tower in most of the big cities, like I showed you from Osaka, looking at the top. Kiso Valley it's up in the Japanese Alps, and they have an ancient samurai hiking trail called the Nakasendo. And so there are two main ways people travel from Kyoto to Edo, Tokyo. Back in the day, there was the Nakasendo, which is the overland route, and there's a Tokaido, which goes along the coast. And so the Tokaido, you had to cross through rivers, and you'd have to wade through rivers. So a lot of people would prefer the Nakasendo. It had a lot more vertical on it, but
Is there any tape on your desk or no?
no, there's no tape. But you can hike it. It's still there. And so I've hiked along a couple, like a dozen miles or so along it, and they have these old restrooms, they're called. By the way, it's not a toilet. It's a restroom. I'm like, because I needed to pee, and it said restroom. I'm like, yes, and they're like making me tea and serving me snacks, and then there was a fire to warm up by, and I'm like,
brother, I just need to go to the back.
And they're all talking to me, and so I'm like making conversation with them, but I'm like, where's the restroom? And they're like, yes, this is the restroom. No, but where's the restroom of the restroom? And they're like, yes, this is the restroom. You're resting.
Toilet.
You're resting here.
It's a restroom.
It's a restroom. It's a room to rest. And I was like, oh, I have made a bad mistake, because I couldn't just leave because they had served me tea and snacks. So I'm just sitting there like, yeah, it's really good. Thank you. I appreciate this. This is wonderful. It was actually a really nice experience, but that restroom sign got me. It got me. Lakeview was beautiful. It's the lake near Kyoto. There's castles everywhere you can visit. The White Heron and Black Castles, are beautiful to visit. Kyushu, the southern end, that's what I did last time. Beautiful. Kurokawa is another onsen town. Look at that, right? This is gorgeous. It's just gorgeous. And so there's an onsen in there, and on the right-hand side there. And so my buddy Nick and I went hot springing in there. This is our backyard at our hotel. So our backyard is there's a little porch. We had some beers there, and that's our view from the backyard. And if you want a less blurry version, that's what it looks like. Just sitting there playing cards, just drinking beer. That's our backyard. What do you think?
That is crazy. That is incredible.
Yeah, not too expensive either. This is a volcano. That's the edge of the volcano, by the way. It's like 40 miles around, something like that.
Wow.
And there's towns inside of it. People live inside of the volcano. And like I said, the train line has been taken out by the volcano before because it still erupts occasionally. There's shrines. It's a very sacred spot. Shame Mark left. There's One Piece statues everywhere there because they're sponsoring the rebuilding of the castle in the area. Lots of shrines. This is inside of a volcano. You can see the edge of the volcano out there. Yeah. That is the Black Heron Castle. That's Kumamoto Castle. That was destroyed by an earthquake, and so they're working on that. This is Kyushu. This is the town of Kagoshima. That's another volcano that's off the coast of the city, and you can see the smoke coming up. It just smokes constantly, and when the wind shifts, it just blows ash over the town. And that's the castle there. It still has bullet holes from the rebellion. Last Samurai, if you've seen that movie, that's the volcano. We went to the volcano. It was fun. It's a nice place to hike. We hiked around the volcano. It's cool. It's constantly, smoking. There's the volcano. This is the town of Kagoshima from the volcano. Beautiful, tropical, southern Japan. There's a volcano again. There's a volcano. It's just there above the town at all times. This is a cave where the kami hung out to party when Amaterasu was in hiding or something like that to lure her out of the cave. Nagasaki is the most Christian town in Japan at the time, and we nuked it. That's where the Jubilee. The Catholic Church made an anime character for the Jubilee. Nagasaki Harbor, that's Dejima, the trading port. That's from an observation tower in Nagasaki. That's the town of Nagasaki. Beautiful, beautiful town. Had a big Western influences, the Western port of influence. That's the result of the nuke. That's more Western buildings there. Pachinko parlor, I played Pachinko for the first time there. They give you these things, you then exchange them for presents, which we then lost because my friend Nick was photographing cats, and he left his Pachinko winnings at the park there because he was sneaking up on the cats to photograph them. Osaka, that's the Sky Harbor building, that's the view from the top. Beautiful, beautiful town. Osaka is a very friendly town. That's the World Expo that I went to, biggest wooden structure in the world. My friend Nick and I, we went to the World Expo last year. Osaka is a merchant's town, and so the people there are extremely friendly, great food, not too expensive. The wooden structure, World Expo. It's got some weird cancer creature as its motto, I'm not sure why. World Expo, Spy Family at the World Expo. World Expo. That water, by the way, had Legionella in it, so they had to shut it down the next day. Yeah, don't worry, I didn't breathe too much of it. That had toxic levels of Legionella in
I
it.
probably would have been like running through that.
Yeah,
That's like a bad sign for me.
World Expo. Yeah, it was a World Expo. All the different countries were there. United States, Dotonbori. This is a great place to visit in Osaka. This is the canal district of Dotonbori in Osaka. It's 24/7. You fly into Osaka, you go there to get sushi at 3 o'clock in the morning. It's great. Kyoto is the most elegant, refined place in Japan. Temples, all this kind of stuff. People there will wear kimono more often than others. Temples. Kamo River. That's dining along the Kamo River. Really cool stuff.
I like the hat that you're wearing because like you've come to class with that.
Yeah, same hat. Yeah. So I hung out with my friends along the Kamo River and just out there drinking some beers with that view. Yeah, it's beautiful. Kyoto's beautiful. You can spend a month there.
I just bought a camera
My friend
recently, so
Nick and his friend. That's the Kyoto.jpg from class. That's the street I was on. This little meditation room at one of the temples. I go there every time I go to Kyoto. It's beautiful there. This is Firehouse Burgers in Tokyo. Best burgers in Tokyo, according to my friend Nick. It's beautiful. That is Shinjuku, I believe. That is Shinjuku. That is a host club advertisement in Shinjuku. That is a love hotel. There are love hotels are everywhere in Shinjuku. Also, they're a great place to stay because it is the only place you will find a king-size bed at a reasonable price. $100 a night, you get a king-size bed. You just have to stay at a love hotel. Very, very quiet, very confidential. They have karaoke in the love hotel also. That's pretty cool. Karaoke is a thing you can do. That's Tokyo University, Akamon Gate, the Red Gate. That is Haneda Airport. Look, it's beautiful. I told you, Narita is the new one, but I think Haneda is actually quite beautiful. That's the big lantern at Asakusa. That is that's the Imperial Palace. The crepes guy that I was telling you about, that is in Asakusa. Vending machines are everywhere. That is not selling drinks, that is selling soup stock. That is dashi. That's in maybe Akihabara. No, it's not Akihabara. I don't know where that is. Shibuya. I think it's Shibuya, if I had to guess. Shrines, Tokyo Tower, knockoff, Eiffel Tower, Tokyo Tower. People Mario Karting around like idiots. Yoyogi Park. Went to a record club. This is a thing you can do. You can listen to records and drink. And so the guy will play music for you. Some of them you can request records to be played. Shinjuku. Car elevators, Yoyogi Park, Tokyo Tower. That's it. All right. We're getting kicked out by the janitors. We need a jet. So thank you guys for coming, and I'll take any questions outside if you need it.